Hey guys, welcome to the first episode of the Rapchat podcast. So this is a podcast that we started basically about the Toronto Raptors. And just because we're all big NBA fans, we're all big basketball fans, and we wanted to start this podcast just because, we talk about basketball so much that it's like, well, let's get roasted on the internet for everything that we're going to say. So before we head into the podcast, if you're watching on YouTube, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever else you get your podcasts, make sure to leave a rating and also leave a review. You can find us on Instagram, Twitter, and what am I missing? Instagram,
YouTube?
Twitter, and YouTube, and
That's it, I think.
no, we have one more. It's Instagram.
We're not on TikTok yet.
No, we're not on TikTok.
That's it.
We're not on TikTok. I will have to get us on TikTok though. We'll get a TikTok.
TikTok coming soon.
And
Coming
so
soon.
you can find us there at Rapchat Podcast. We're gonna post new clips of the show every week and talk about all things Raptors related.
Yes,
so
sir.
really excited. Welcome. So thank you guys everyone for tuning in. So this is gonna be a bonus episode. So we're gonna put this one out as a bonus episode because today is October the 19th, 2021. So this is gonna be our first ever preliminary episode, I guess. But it's simply because the Raptors don't play till tomorrow. But we did want to get a podcast put out, I think just talking about general NBA.
What we think about the NBA,
Yeah.
like our favorites of everything,
Exactly.
Get you guys comfortable with us.
Yeah, exactly. Because, we want you guys to know who we are as the host. Because I feel like it would be a little weird to just like coming
Jump in random
Yeah,
Raptors, you know what I mean?
yeah.
Not like, we all have NBA background, like watching it a lot and stuff like that.
And playing basketball, because we all play basketball
play
too.
basketball.
So
Yep.
that's you know what, this is actually so funny too, because sometimes I get mad at bad announcers when I'm just like, dude, I could cross you up, bro. like come play on the court with me, bro.
Okay,
like,
but sometimes I hear players say like, oh, what you're talking about, you don't play. It's like, well, yeah, but we watch a lot. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
no,
Like,
but that's also true too. Is like then I like Will Liu, for example. Shout out to Will Liu, but like he's a guy like he does not play basketball, but he is so basketball intelligent. Like he knows, like, and I wouldn't even. One of the reasons why I love listening to Will Liu, and one of the reasons why you guys are gonna be great on this podcast, is because like he knows a lot about the NBA. You know,
Right.
so he's not just a Raptors guy. Whereas I feel like the problem with a lot of podcasts is like you just hear so many casual takes from people who don't know teams.
Like, look at Tom Thibodeau too, right? Like he probably didn't play much basketball. Like,
Oh,
I don't know the
there's
background.
no
but-
way.
Oh,
There's no
somebody's
way.
Nick
But he's
Nurse?
a genius.
You guys think Nick Nurse played a ton
I
of
think
basketball?
he played.
Like
he played a little bit
in England or something.
Yeah, yeah.
Like professionally?
Like
Yeah,
semi-pro,
but, like,
pro.
Not it's professional, like England professionally.
Yeah,
in
but
no
that's
offense, England.
1970.
Yeah, and he's also like, isn't he like shorter than Drake? Like,
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
like,
He's not
yeah.
tall. He's not tall.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm curious now.
So this is gonna be our first bonus episode. So this would be a bonus episode number 1. If you guys just kind of getting to know us as your hosts and we'll talk about the structure and we'll talk about everything else later. So thank you guys for all tuning in. So we're gonna start off the introduction. So I also host another podcast called the Reddit Asks Us podcast, and Sam and Elias have been guests on that podcast. Hopefully, are coming back to be guests on that podcast. And you guys can check that out at Reddit Asks Us podcast on YouTube and on Instagram and TikTok. But anyways, so my name's Luke Dick. I've been a podcast host for probably about 1.5 years now, starting up podcasts and doing that sort of thing. And this is just a better opportunity to keep doing that. Like I said, I'm actually probably the most casual out of all the guys here. Like I'm a Raptors fan, but I definitely don't know as much about like NBA basketball as much as you guys do. But I'm much more of like probably mostly because if you guys ever hear like takes out of my mouth, you guys are gonna probably be like, yeah, shut the fuck up, Luke. Anyways, but I'm a big Raptors fan. So we're like big Raptors fan. I started playing basketball when I was 12 years old. I never really had touched a basketball before.
Really?
Yeah, no, never.
Really?
It's like
Yeah.
middle school.
Yeah, because I grew up in a small town, right? And I grew up in a hockey town. There was no basketball. So
Okay.
the first time I had ever actually really like played basketball was I remember it was like at recess and like when I had moved to the city that I lived in previously. I had played football with a couple of guys in City League football, and they were just like, hey, you want to play basketball? And I was like, sure, I guess. And then it actually ended up becoming like my favorite sport, and I actually tried to get a lot better at it. So
Yeah.
as soon as I was as soon as I like started to play basketball, Raptors were my favorite team.
Well, Canada.
Canada, and something I don't even know why, to be honest.
When did you start watching them?
About 12 years old.
Okay. So what year is that? Like
20
years ago?
13.
That's when I started watching also.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
2013, 2014, somewhere around there. But I just gravitated toward the Raptors and I just love playing basketball. So then my favorite teams. So I said we'd talk about our favorite teams. So my favorite teams are the Raptors, of course, obviously number one. The Trailblazers. They're my second favorite team. Trailblazers always. I love Damian Lillard. I've always loved Damian Lillard.
You're disappointed a lot then.
Yeah, quite disappointed. But something about, I don't know. I just like, I think a lot of I get a positive vibes from Portland, and that's kind of just why
I agree with
you. It's hard not to like Damian Lillard.
It really is hard not to like him, dude. He's the realest dude in the NBA, no cap. Like he's just so real. Like
I
don't
so
think
much respect for him.
I don't think there's a single player who says that they don't like Damian Lillard.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like he's just exactly.
Maybe Paul George kind of hit that crazy shot over him, but outside of that.
Yeah, exactly. But Damian Lillard's like, come on, bro. Like he's got so many iconic plays and just. Like I'm honestly probably more of a Lillard fan than I am a Portland fan, but just he's been with the organization for so long.
I love Lillard.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Good rapper too.
Oh yeah. And then so these next two ones people are gonna be like, oh, okay, whatever. But I like Milwaukee. I like the Bucks.
Sure.
And the reason why I like the Bucks is because I think they play good basketball, and I'm a fan of teams that play good basketball. If you play like entertaining basketball, fun to watch, you guys play as a team, and you play together. I'm a fan of how you play. You know, so I to be honest, I never really started watching the Bucks until like 2 years ago, but I just like the way they play. So I'm not really ashamed to say that either. So then my next favorite team is the Heat, just because I like Tyler Hero. I like Duncan Robinson. I love the story of I like the story of like maybe not as much with Tyler Hero, but Duncan Robinson. Well, yeah, but I like the undergroundness. You know, I like the fact that Duncan Robinson is a guy. Was he undrafted?
Undrafted.
Yeah, he was undrafted.
He played D3 for a bit until he played at Michigan.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I like that. I like a lot of like the same story. One of the reasons why I like the Raptors is because and Precious came from the Heat to the Raptors, and I think that the Heat and Raptors have always had a sort of thing, and Kyle Lowry went down there to play, and I think there's a lot of similarities to thinking styles, and that's why I kind of like the Heat. Yep. So now we're gonna talk about our favorite players. So my favorite players, of course, I think at the top of my list is OG Anunoby, man. This guy is he's at the top of my list, man. I don't think I've ever, even when he wasn't like playing at the beginning of the seasons like prior, like when he was drafted, I still think that he never made a lot of mistakes.
No, I loved him right away because when we drafted him after his like post-draft interview, or whatever, they asked, "What are you gonna do now?" And he said, "Go eat some cheesecake."
Yeah,
I was like,
He also
that's a vibe.
Showed no emotion as he was getting drafted.
Yeah, exactly.
Just walked up there straight.
His recent post-game interview was just hilarious, dude. They're just like, "Do you want to say anything else?" He's like, "No." So then my next favorite players were Damian Lillard.
Sure.
Yeah, of course. I think he just like the way he plays. These next few takes the next two ones are probably gonna be kind of casual, but I like Jason Tatum.
No, that's a good pick.
I really love Jason Tatum. I think that like people want to make comparisons to Kobe, but like, I think he's got certain aspects of Kobe's game, but I think he has the potential to be a better shooter.
Yeah.
Like I think that just this year is going to be disgusting. I think people are really going to get. I've said that I thought like highly about Jason Tatum and comparing him to Kobe, and has the potential to be better in some parts of Kobe's game than Kobe was. And people hear me and are just like, "You're an idiot." But then I'm just like,
I like him without Kemba Walker, because when Kemba came, it was still unsure who was going to be the top scorer, because he was coming out from Charlotte, right?
Okay.
And Charlotte, he was averaging like 27 points a game before he came to Boston. So
they were
still unsure who's going to be the top scorer, and even before Kemba left, they were still like that. So I like that certified Tatum now.
It's 100% his teams now. It's his team.
Yeah. I like it that way. I think they should center it around Tatum because he's that scoring guy. He is that guy.
Yeah.
He's literally that guy. I think that Boston has just had so much, like, they're not a great organization. That's the problem with Boston. It's just
they're really not.
They really don't know how to run things out there, and they could, but they don't. And
they can't develop. That's a big
can't.
thing. They've had multiple lottery picks, and none of them have turned. Well, Langford and Neesmith looked good in the preseason, but
I'm done. I'm out on Langford. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Disagreed. Okay.
But yeah, so I love Jason Tatum. I think one of my next favorite players is Lonzo Ball. I like Lonzo Ball. I just like him. I think that he gets too much hate.
No, he's my literally One of my favorites of all time.
Yeah.
Not of all time. Sorry. Favorite in the league right now.
Yeah, and it's because I think he just gets way too much hate. I think people expected him to be bad when he came in the league because of all the hype that is in the reality shows and his dad and blah 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 blah. But you know, I think he's one of the best point guards in the league, like straight up. Like he knows what to do. He makes the right decisions.
You mean point guard as in position or best pure point guard? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I would say
that's a tough one.
I think he's a better point guard than
pure?
Kyrie Irving. Point guard.
Yes,
but not a better player than Kyrie Irving.
No, I agree. Yes,
Yeah.
a pure point guard and
Yeah.
like with decision making and just like what he provides to a team.
Yeah.
You could literally put him on any team and he'd
He's
perform.
gonna fit.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
He's gonna fit
exactly.
on any team.
He had the best plus minus in the preseason, plus 88 in the preseason.
Exactly.
Like,
And like
makes
he's,
the team better.
I think Lonzo Ball, like, it's weird to say this, but I think Lonzo Ball is slept on.
Oh yeah.
Like
yeah.
I think he's slept on. Like
Big time.
you know. And
Yeah.
my last favorite player, and I think this is kind of a controversial one, is D'Angelo Russell.
Mm.
I like D'Angelo Russell. I've always liked his game. I liked it when he was on the Timberwolves, man. I liked watching him play. He's left-handed like me, so it was fun to watch him play.
Lefty bias.
And dude, he's always been a good shooter, and that's what people
Yeah.
completely forget about D'Angelo Russell is that he's always been a good shooter. I mean, say what you want about his attitude, but like I think he's got a better.
I think he has a good attitude.
I think he has a good attitude. I
He
think
seems like a fun guy.
he is, and I think he gets too much hate. I think I like him. I like D'Angelo Russell.
No, like when he got traded from the Lakers is because Magic said he wasn't much of a leader.
Yeah.
And he's kind of become more of a leader since then.
I know.
Way more
He
of a leader.
totally led that Brooklyn team. In
That's where
2019.
that's where the hate came from was Magic. Magic put a lot of fucking hate
It
on
was-
D'Angelo
it was,
Russell, and I was
also it was
like,
the whole snitching thing with Nick Young.
Right.
Remember that?
which was that?
Yeah, Nick Young like was dating Iggy Azalea.
Yeah,
at the
Iggy
time,
Azalea.
And D'Lo recorded Nick Young cheating on her and then posted it. You know about this?
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was like the main reason. Like
Nick Young recorded D'Angelo
No,
Russell cheating.
D'Lo
Other way around.
recorded Nick Young
Yeah.
cheating on Iggy
Dude.
Azalea.
and then they ended up
He became a snitch. Yeah.
getting a divorce or breaking up.
Ooh, oh shit.
Yeah.
Oh damn.
I'm not like a snitch, but like, you know.
Okay,
screw
let's be
Swaggy
real.
for
Let's
that.
be real. If you're dating or married to an NBA player,
Yeah.
come on, man. Like
That's fair. That's
they
fair.
have like I'm sorry, but like
You gotta know what you're getting yourself into, you know?
what's that?
You gotta know what you're getting yourself into.
Yeah,
You know?
like I'm sorry, but like listen, bro. If I was like 6'8" and like one of the best basketball players in the world, top 400 basketball players, it's like, come on, man. Like,
But also,
I get a little bit of
also
leeway.
don't get married.
yeah, don't get married. That's another
You know?
thing too. Yeah,
Screw
actually, that's a
Swaggy
better
P.
point. Fuck what I just said.
You gotta expect him to cheat
yeah,
on you. man.
no, well, to a certain extent.
No,
but,
I mean, you're right,
But like,
but
you,
also-
like to be honest, like you can't be surprised. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, no.
that's not something you could be like,
Yeah.
you know,
I
unless
mean,
it's Stephen Curry.
or Gordon Hayward. Seems like a nice guy.
Yeah,
Yeah, you know, I wouldn't expect that.
I'm not saying there's not nice guys out there, but I'm just saying that like I'd say on like there's a reason why like NBA players like once they get out of the league lose all their money. You know what I mean? There's a reason why they like go and have sex with like a million chicks because it's just like
Yeah.
they have the opportunity to do
I
that
guess,
shit and
I guess.
they have the status and the Sam looks apprehensive. What?
No. I was trying to think of.
Players who like bankrupt.
No, I'm trying to
I
think of
think
players who've like cheated on their wives.
Guys, so we're going top players who cheated on their wives. All right, so
Swaggy.
Tristan Thompson.
Oh yeah. I don't like Tristan Thompson.
he's a weird guy.
I don't like
He's a
Khloe
weird guy.
Kardashian either though, so it's like whatever. I
Yeah,
don't care about either of them.
yeah. She's getting married to fucking
He's ugly,
Travis
eh?
Barker, dude. That SNL. Sorry to go off topic,
I
but
didn't see
this
it.
is a bonus episode. Fuck it. The SNL skit with like Kim Kardashian. There's been a lot of talk about Kim Kardashian on SNL, and dude, I fucking found her hilarious, man. I thought her skits
I
were
didn't watch
so
it.
Wait,
funny.
Kim herself was on SNL?
Yeah,
I
she
thought
was
they
in
were
a bunch-
copying her.
No, dude, she
Really?
just was on SNL like a week ago or something. Dude, so funny. Her skits were hilarious, and there was one skit in there where they like she was imitating her sister, and then they got one of the guys to play Travis Barker, and it was so funny. It was so hilarious. He's like, "You're so punk," and I was like, "Oh my god,
That's
this
good.
is." She's like, "I want you to drum all the small things on my ass when we get home." I was like,
what even is he a celebrity? Like,
yeah,
what does
he's
he do?
Blink-182. He's the drummer for Blink-182.
Oh, people are gonna hate me now.
Well,
I've heard
Dude,
the name.
don't
but
worry.
I don't know what he's
don't
famous
feel
for.
about it. I don't like. I don't know.
I've
I
never
don't even know
Blink-182
Blink
in my life.
182.
Okay, good.
But
good.
at the beginning of the skit,
There's gonna be some rock fans out there gonna be like,
Yeah.
yeah, Blink-182.
well, there's at the beginning of the skit, he was like, and straight out of the year 2000, Travis Barker, and I was just like, oh, that's too funny. Okay, enough about myself. Sam, go for it.
Hello, everyone. I'm Sam Kenny. I am a diehard Toronto Raptors fans, obviously, as I'm making a Toronto Raptors podcast. Play a lot of basketball. Play with these two. I've played since, God, I don't know, 10 years old maybe. We were talking earlier about our first like Raptors memory or moment, and mine's a sad one. It's Kyle Lowry being blocked by
Paul Pierce.
by Paul Pierce. Yeah.
Oh,
And then there's the image in my mind of Lowry and DeRozan like on the ground.
That was a good
Oh.
moment. That was a good moment for those two, though. You know,
No, it was
a
sad.
wholesome
yeah.
moment.
And then a happier one was I was probably, I don't know how old I was now, but Norm Powell's dunk against the Pacers.
Oh,
I watched
that
that
was
all
savage.
the
That was
time.
too
And
savage, dude.
I
He
thought
had
he was
a
gonna
three.
miss the dunk at first.
No,
he
dude.
I thought
he
it was-
lost it in the air.
Yeah, like he almost
see
like
that?
Oh
yeah.
yeah, he did.
Yeah.
yeah.
He's a rookie too. He had a three after he tied the game. So I forget if he hit the three before or after the dunk. He had like a little mini run.
Yeah,
And
and it
the
was
dunk
just
was
capped
part of
off
it.
by that. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, that was awesome.
That's a good moment.
These two teams aren't necessarily my other favorite teams, but they're two teams I'm excited to watch this year. Not Eastern Conference teams because I have trouble rooting for them because the Raptors play them.
No,
But
fair enough.
first is Memphis. I find
really?
that every year
Hmm.
Memphis drafts late first round picks or second round picks that I wanted the Raptors to draft. So guys like Desmond Bane,
Mhm.
Xavier Tillman.
Not Zaire Williams.
No,
Okay,
not
good.
Zaire Williams.
I don't like Zaire Williams that much.
I don't mind Zaire Williams.
I'm not a big fan.
And, I just
Come on. Oh fuck. Yeah, not a big fan. Not a big fan.
hot take, eh?
Damn, I
yeah.
gotta get used to. I don't usually use these things during the Reddit podcast.
Yeah.
So I gotta get used to which one of
Oh,
them.
we're
I
gonna have some
hit.
like hot takes. You gotta pull those out. Yeah.
So Sam, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, one of my favorite players, who I'll name later, is on Memphis. And my other favorite team is Phoenix. I love Devin
Oh,
Booker.
Yeah. Totally. Totally.
I thought the playoff run last year was so much fun. I wanted them to win really badly.
Playoffs last year were so.
Oh
I
my
thought they
God.
were great. I was so.
Casuals saying this is boring finals. It's like no, this
That
is
was
like
my
the best
favorite
finals in
finals.
years.
Yeah.
To be honest, it's not necessarily
counting the
casual. I was
Raptors.
just very disappointed that there wasn't full capacity crowds.
Oh, no,
yeah.
no, I'm
Like-
talking about teams.
Oh,
The team
teams.
is playing,
Oh
yeah.
God, yeah.
People like
dude.
Milwaukee and Phoenix. It's
Dude,
like, that's amazing.
I was so happy. I was like,
Oh, yeah.
I was like, I'm so fucking glad.
Yeah.
You guys are gonna get to know some of the podcast. But I fucking hate the Nets and I fucking hate the Lakers. And I was so glad.
If the
that
Nets win
when
this
they-
year, or if they won last year, I wouldn't be disappointed because they never won one in their team's
I don't
history.
give a fuck.
Okay.
Sorry, okay, Sam, keep going. And we'll talk about this later. We'll talk about this down the road. We'll talk about this down the road.
And then, as you can see by the jersey I'm wearing, my favorite player is Pascal Siakam. Hoping for a big bounce back year this year.
Yeah.
Uh,
As Raptor fans, I feel like who isn't?
Yeah, I'm
Like,
glad
yeah,
you.
we
I'm
all-
glad you like him, but you understand last year was a bad year.
yeah,
Yeah.
I understand there needs to be improvements. I love Devin Booker. As I already
yeah.
mentioned, I think he's got maybe the most aesthetically pleasing game in the league.
Totally.
oh.
I thought you were gonna say beard. 'Cause it's a nice beard. It's cut.
He's got a nice beard, I think. Yeah, yeah, he's got a nice beard. He drives nice cars. And then two Canadian guys, probably the two best Canadians in the game, Jamal Murray and Shea Gilgeous-Alexander.
Just having a heated debate about this GA right before the fucking
It wasn't
podcast.
heated.
No,
I like
there's
Shea a lot. I like Shea a lot. I think he can be a multi-time All-Star. I just don't. I'm not.
Well, you guys
I'm
were
not
threatening to
crazy,
kill
huh?
each other, so I'm pretty heated.
No, he's starting to kill me.
Yeah.
I didn't bounce it
Yeah.
back.
No, that's how much I love SGA.
Diehard SGA fan.
And then a little more obscure, but my other favorite player is Kyle Anderson, slow-mo. I think he's maybe the most unique player in the league. I just love how slow he plays. I love his playmaking, and I wouldn't
You love
mind.
how slow he plays.
I do.
Okay.
I love his pace. I think
Well,
it's
honestly,
fun.
I prefer.
It reminds me of me.
Like I
so.
prefer like a slower paced player rather than a super fast paced. Like I think of a Stanley Johnson. Like
Okay, no, he
like
just
on the
plays out of
extremes.
control, yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
On
Yeah.
the in both
Yeah, no, I see
extremes,
what
like
you mean.
on both extremes, like if you play out of control, like you don't think about anybody else on the court. Whereas when
Yeah.
you're slow, like you
Stanley's
kind of
bad for
have to
that.
think about other people on the
But
court.
when it comes to Kyle Anderson, the reason he plays slow is because he's slow. You know
Yeah,
what I
he's
mean?
got
super
no-
athletic. Like, I
he gives me hope though. Like it gives me hope.
Yeah.
Okay, go.
Cool.
No, where are you going next time?
That's it. Those are my favorite players.
Favorite players? Okay, yeah, okay.
All right.
So next is we have is Elias.
All right. Yeah, I'm Elias. Been playing basketball since kindergarten, actually. 5 years old. I didn't start taking it like seriously until
How? City League?
what? No,
In a
just like
town?
elementary school, man. We had teams.
What? In kindergarten?
Yeah, it was K.
What?
There's K to 2.
Yo.
Then there's 3 to 5. Then
That's so hype. I
Oh,
wish.
I've never
it
heard of
wasn't
that.
hype. It was not hype
I've
at
never
all.
heard of
I've
that.
never heard of
at all.
kindergarten
Really?
playing basketball.
Dude,
No.
never.
My first my first middle school, not middle school, sorry. My first 3 to 5 basket was in the wrong hoop.
Nice.
And I was hyped.
Let's
I was
go.
like, let's go. And I look back at my team, and they're all like, like, what did you do?
Yeah,
I was like, scored, bro.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Oh, I put the ball in the hoop.
I played basketball.
Yeah,
What?
I don't see what you're doing.
Why
Contributing.
you're sitting back there?
Yeah.
Yeah, no. I started taking it seriously. I started taking it seriously like grade 6, I guess. Grade 5, I was on a regional team. Anyway, yeah.
Shameless,
Shameless.
flex there.
I was on this like regional.
I was only the best player in the province.
Moving on. Who are my favorite teams? So my favorite teams fluctuate based off how I feel about them coming into the season. So this year, obviously Raptors, diehard also. But I love the Chicago Bulls this season.
Oh man,
And
that's such a good take.
That goes into I wouldn't say favorite, top 3 in the league. Honestly, maybe favorite player in the league. Lonzo Ball is also I love
Yeah,
Lonzo Ball.
totally.
But I've been a Lonzo fan since Chino Hills, before LeVar went off and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, no,
Yeah.
I feel
Oh,
like
yeah.
every person in our generation knows Lonzo
Oh.
since Chino. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
we all used to watch those Balls
Balls
live
Live.
streams.
Balls
I remember
Live, exactly.
we would watch the streams, like not even the highlights. We'd watch the
Yeah.
streams of their games,
Yep.
and
And
it
I've
was
always
like wild.
I've loved his game. And whenever
Yeah.
I say Lonzo's one of my favorites,
They played like
everybody's
no
of course
other
he is.
people.
No, he's so unique, dude.
Mm.
And I think he just brings so much to the team. Like I said earlier, he's plus 88 in the preseason, best in the league. Like he brings so much positives to your team.
Oh, yeah.
Especially now that he's shooting so well too.
Yeah, and he's a good
38% last
dude.
year.
Like he's a solid
yeah.
guy. Like
Yeah.
he's a guy that nobody would complain to have on their team.
Absolutely not. I think people would love to have Lonzo on their team.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I saw like there was like Kyle Lowry for Lonzo Ball mock trades,
Ooh,
and I was like,
wow.
that would make me happy.
I wanted that. I wanted Lowry to sign and trade to New Orleans.
Yeah, me too.
For both teams, I think he'd be fun in New Orleans. And
Oh, that'd be great for
Two
it's like a
thick
Phoenix Suns type
bodies
thing.
right on Pelicans, eh?
Yeah,
Yeah. Zion and
Yeah.
fucking Kyle
And,
Lowry
like,
with their
it could
big
be like
booties.
it could be like a
Josh Hart as well.
Wait, hold up. With their big booties. That's the fucking Pelicans if Kyle Lowry was on the Pelicans right there.
that's still the Pelicans, dude. Zion just takes it all up, you know.
Yeah,
he has like
it's true,
he's like
true.
5 butts in one.
What's that? Yeah, oh, yeah.
You know. Anyway, next, I'll Stephen Curry. I love Steph so much. He's such a good player.
Yeah.
Talking about
It's hard to hate a guy
Yeah.
like Steph. I mean, like,
best point guard of all time, in my opinion. He changed the game.
yeah.
Oh,
you know,
he changed
I'll
the
talk
game.
about
Yeah,
I'll
no,
talk about that a little bit later,
Yeah.
but I definitely agree.
It's tough because Magic Johnson, obviously. But I think Steph greater all time. Outside of that, OG also, you kind of talked about him already. I just love his vibe. I love what he brings to our team.
Oh yeah.
I don't see any negatives though, Giannobi. You know?
No, not a chance.
And I love that his real name is Agugwa. Do you know
yeah.
that?
Yeah.
I remember hearing
Oh,
that.
OG is
but,
such a
like,
sick
yeah.
nickname, man.
Dude,
Such a sick.
it's so dope.
Yeah.
It's so dope. I love when they
OG.
put on the banner OG. I'm like, yo, that's a sick name.
You think he'd have like this like super like pimp vibe? He's just like straight faced always.
Yeah, always,
you know,
always.
You know, with that name. Another one, a little more out there. Miles Bridges. I think Miles Bridges is really
I
underrated.
agree. I think so too.
He
for
was
sure.
almost 50, 40, 90 last year. And they were starting him in preseason, which I love because him and LaMelo go so well together. And
yeah.
They're so much fun.
it's
with
so much
Eric
fun.
Collins on the call as well.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, they're Hornets commentators.
Oh, dude, those guys are wild,
love
man.
it.
They're the best.
I love it. And then you have like a highlight team too with them, right? It's like it's like a match made in heaven.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And,
yeah, their team is a giant highlight tape,
Dude, for real.
like every game.
And they got Kelly now too.
Bridges!
Rozier!
Oh,
The
damn,
KD
dude.
dunk.
Oh my God, they go so hard on Terry Rozier, and I love it, dude.
know.
It's so funny.
Scary Terry.
Yeah. Yo.
And
too good, too
I got
good.
one more. I just got to shout him out. TJ I think, did he have one game last year? He had 9 steals.
He's always like that guy who's like just such an obscure player who just has like the weirdest stat lines.
Yeah.
like he'll have like a 10-10-10 game. Like
It's 10 steals. One of them.
Yeah,
Like
like-
he'll have.
Holy shit.
He'll have 3 points. He'll have 3 points, 8 rebounds, 11 assists,
Oh,
3
yeah.
steals, and like a block somehow.
he's honestly kind of like point guard, not as good, but point guard Draymond Green.
Yeah.
Like in a way, you know.
Not like but with the defense, but like the way he plays, like
Oh, yeah.
what like steals last year.
He's always at the
He
top
led
of
the league. I think he led the league in steals last year. Okay, man, 1.9 a game, coming off the bench and everything. Yeah, I love TJ McConnell.
Nice.
Yeah. Anyway. That's
Okay. So now we're gonna cruise through the next section here. Thanks, guys, for talking about that, talking about ourselves, getting ourselves a little introduced. It took a half an hour, but that's all right. So next, I'm gonna quickly run through the outline of our show. So this is, of course, a bonus episode. This is just kind of get you guys introduced with us, get you guys familiar as in actually how much we know about basketball too, because this episode will give us a good insight into, like I said before, like we're about, like if you're gonna be a fan of a team, you're gonna be a fan of the NBA. We all fucking just love basketball, right? So you're gonna get and like, I think I said this earlier too. Like the most casual takes come from people who just like don't have any sorts of favorite teams. They're bandwagons and they're just casual fans. They don't actually watch a team's every single like 82 game. How many games are in this? 82 game season. Like they really don't. So above all, we're basketball fans, right?
Yeah.
We play basketball, we watch basketball, we love basketball. So that's kind of how it is, and that's why I think it's so cool that we all kind of get together and do this. So
That's great.
Running through the outline of our show, we're primarily it's the Rapchat podcast, Rapchat. So we're gonna talk about Raptors, right? So this is, and also keep in mind, guys, like we're not gonna be this outline isn't like concrete. So it's
kind of like a rough idea of what we want to do, and it's gonna fluctuate throughout time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Like some ideas might work, some don't. Like if it's
first episode,
exactly right. So we're gonna. So first thing we kind of want to talk about is Raptors news for the week. So if there's any injury reports, talking about maybe some post-game interview stuff or some like just Raptors news in general. What's going on with the team, what's going on with the coaches. What are like. I'm not a huge guy who watches a lot of the practices, but I'd be down to tune into some of the YouTube videos this season just to see what's going on in practice.
Yeah.
Like,
do you watch Open Gym?
Open Gym, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, it's like
yeah.
the Open Gym. I feel like it might be worth to tune into a couple
really
of times.
good.
Yeah, this year just to see what's going on in practice.
Yep.
A lot of other teams don't do that. There is no
they
Open
don't.
Gym
It's
for
pretty
a lot of other
unique.
teams.
It's well done too. Like the first
Yeah.
episode
It's really good.
came out the other
production.
day. It looked really good.
Yeah. So Open Gym, I think I'm gonna have to tune into more of that this year. And then we'll move on to game recap. So I think we found out earlier before there's about 4 games a week.
Yeah.
So since there's only 3 of us, I mean, I feel like we each choose a game and then maybe we all tune in on the best game. Like we each choose a game to recap and then like the best game we'll all talk about.
If there's a game where there's a game winner,
Yeah.
we all want to talk about
exactly.
that.
So
we'll all talk about it.
We'll do game recap, scores, who they played, highlights, other notable moments. Whatever comes out of the games, we'll probably kind of recap, and our put like what we think about it too. So then we'll move on to top plays of the week. So we'll go top plays of the week, defense, offense, anything that we saw that was considered a highlight, I guess you could say.
Yep.
And then this is kind of a cool segment that you guys came up with, was the questions for each other. So for every show, we're gonna come up with a question for each other to pose to the group and say, okay, so like, what exactly is it? So we're gonna ask each other a more specific question about the Raptors, game related, season related, or anything else. It's gonna be a question.
Whatever you want to ask with the Raptors.
Exactly.
Right? Just get each other's thoughts on anything.
Exactly. And the thing is, the seasons evolve, right? Seasons change, and you might have hope in a guy and they don't perform as well, or you might hope in a guy you might somebody like Justin Champagne might just like fucking
exactly. There's always questions.
There's always questions.
There's always another question every day. So
exactly. Yeah. So then the next segment, hopefully, if we can get some decent viewership on the podcast, we want to get questions and call in from the audience. So we want to make sure that you guys as the audience are feeling like you're a part of this podcast, because ultimately, like, this is a podcast, but we're all Raptors fans. Like, we fucking love the Raptors. Like, you know, and Raptors fans love the fucking Raptors too. So we want you guys to contribute in the podcast and feel like you guys are a part of it as well. So if you guys want to take part, there's hopefully in the future, we're going to have a segment where you guys can actually call into the show. So we're going to have like a Google Voice number that you guys can call on the screen. We'll post it on our Instagram stories in the Instagram at Rapchat Podcast on Instagram and on Twitter as well. We'll post some updates on Twitter. Sam's the Twitter guy.
Yep.
We'll be posting on Twitter and saying call in at this certain time. You guys can call in for the show or leave comments or anything related and comments on our Instagram, comments on our YouTube channel, comments anywhere, and we'll hopefully answer your guys' questions. We want to hear your takes, and we want to answer questions like about the Raptors and see what you guys think. So then in the next segment, we'll maybe take a second to talk about brief league-wide news because
big things that happen.
Exactly, big things. No, I'm not going to care about, like small things that
like when Ben Simmons gets traded, we want to talk about that.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. If there's any big injuries, maybe big trades, anything that's going to happen, that's season related news that's big, we'll touch on it.
When Clay comes back, I want to talk
Yeah,
about
exactly.
Yeah. When Jordan Nwora has a big 20-point game for the Bucks.
Okay, we can definitely mention that for sure. So anything super pressing or important in the media that makes it in the media, or even something you might just saw in House of Highlights that you just want to mention, like anything. Then we'll mention that on the show, and then we'll end the show off with predictions. So we're gonna outline who the Raptors are going to be playing in the week to come, and our predictions for these games, maybe predictions for best players and performances and points and all sorts of things. So we'll make those predictions, and that'll pretty much be the end of our show. And we might, like I said, not super.
We'll go in tangents.
Yeah,
it's not set in stone. It's not.
Exactly.
Yeah, and it's just.
Yeah, nothing's set. We want to play around with it, and also. Hopefully we can get feedback from people who watch the show, and if they are interested, then they will give us feedback and say, hey, I like when you guys do this. Oh, I think this is a good segment. We'll talk, because this is it's a relationship, right? We're not just putting this out there for nobody.
Yeah,
we want
to perform well.
Yeah, we want to make this a good show, and whatever it takes to make it a good show, we'll do that. So all right, moving on to the next thing about our bonus episode. We have the upcoming NBA season. All right, guys. So let's start off with Elias. What are your expectations for this upcoming NBA season?
Expectations. So, when you say expectations, I kind of think of what the finals are going to be. So,
okay, sure.
So, based on my finals prediction, I have the Lakers and the Bucks. Basically, Lakers and Bucks.
Bucks.
I don't love the Lakers roster. I don't think there's much shooting. I don't think there's much defense. But I think
you don't think the Suns can make it back?
I wouldn't be surprised if they did, but also I think LeBron has a huge chip on his shoulder this season.
Yeah, that's so fact. That's why I got him on my fantasy team, because I'm like, dude, LeBron's pissed, man.
He's got
so
number
pissed.
6. He's got the headband.
He knows that like people are just like
Bubble
championship's not a real championship. Like he knows that. He's back with vengeance.
Last time LeBron had a real chip on his shoulder, he won a championship. I agree. I can see it happening.
And he's that guy. LeBron is that guy. Yeah, like he just is.
You are that guy.
And and for the Bucks, as of right now, Kyrie Irving sitting out. I like the Bucks roster better than the Nets roster.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. I absolutely
agree. Those
are
top 2 in the East. I mean, I think it's kind of obvious. But
right.
Yeah.
Any other expectations for the upcoming NBA season?
Nothing crazy, to be honest. I think Giannis is the MVP.
How do you think the season's gonna go? Like, do you think this like? What do
I think it's gonna be a really good year, really competitive year.
Yeah.
There's not many teams that aren't gonna be competitive. Even like I think the Pistons will be competitive. Not necessarily.
They're not going to be top.
They're going to be
top 10.
They're going to be trying hard to.
Yeah, I agree.
They want to win games.
Because they got Cade Cunningham, right?
They got real NBA players on their team. It's not.
Totally,
I like Sadiq Bey a lot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
See, I don't really know much about the Detroit Pistons roster, so I guess I'm gonna have to wait until they play the Raptors.
I'll get into the Pistons.
Okay. All right. Sam's gonna give us all the Piston information. So let's move on to you, Sam. So what are your NBA upcoming expectations for this season?
Well, I think it's gonna be a really open season. I don't think there's 2 perceived juggernauts in the Nets and the Lakers. Yet I don't think either of them are unbeatable teams. I think they're actually very beatable teams.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I agree.
I
I
agree
totally
100%.
agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of
Like that's what I'm excited. Sorry to
No,
just
go ahead.
interrupt you, Sam, but I definitely am excited for. I think it's gonna be a lot of 7-game series.
Yeah,
There's
well,
gonna
like,
be a lot
okay,
of 7-game
last year
series.
is also very competitive. I think it's gonna be similar to last
Yeah.
year,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
A lot of competitive teams.
Yeah.
And like even the play-in, I love the play-in.
Oh,
I think that's a great.
Somebody
addition.
needs to explain the play-in tournament better to me because I think that nobody really gave it a good
Yeah,
explanation
so, like,
for me.
each side's top 10 teams that make the playoffs now. Top 10,
Mm-hmm.
but 7 through 10 play a play-in. So basically, 7 plays 10, 8 plays 9.
Oh yeah, but
If-
the top 3 teams are secure.
Top 6 teams are secure.
Wait, sorry, say that again. So
So each conference, there's
7 through 10. Sorry.
yeah,
oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah,
Sorry.
Yeah, yeah. So 7 plays 10, 8 plays 9. If 7 wins, they're in the playoffs. If 10 wins, 10
Oh, it's almost like a round robin sort of thing.
sort
like
of. So basically, if the higher seed wins the first game,
Yeah.
they're in the playoffs. If the lower seed wins the first game, they
they play
the
the.
one more game.
Okay, nice.
That's correct, right?
I think no, it's 7 plays 8.
Is 7 plays 8, 9?
Yeah,
oh,
7
you're
plays
right.
8, 9
yeah,
plays
you're right. And then
10.
a 7.
If whoever wins 7-8 gets the 7 seed. Whoever loses
Yep.
plays the winner of 9
the
versus 10.
9-10. That's what it was.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I still don't fully
kinda
understand, but
confusing. You'll- once
once
you
the
see
playoffs
it.
come around
Yeah,
this year,
yeah,
yeah,
you'll see it.
okay.
You'll
see
it.
I still something about the play-in tournament. I mean, I did hear a lot of controversy over the play-in tournaments. People say like it, didn't like it,
I
but
loved it.
overwhelmingly,
LeBron
I
didn't
think,
like it because he was in it.
yeah, I think
Mavericks.
for the most part, I heard a lot of NBA players complaining about it, but people who are
It's
around the
entertaining.
NBA.
It's real
Yeah,
entertaining.
it's more competitive. I heard.
Yeah,
You guys make
yeah.
want to be out there. It's not just a free ride to the
Yeah,
playoffs.
because a lot of teams don't want to. Like, it makes teams not want to tank.
right.
So they're like, oh, we have more of a chance to make the playoffs
Oh, okay.
too.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. That
Yeah.
makes sense.
Um,
So sorry.
yes.
Expectations. Back to Sam.
I think it's also a year where there's a lot of maybe not your classic contender teams, but there's a lot of really solid playoff teams, and then a lot of teams who are play-in type teams. So we don't have. I think there's for bad teams. There's OKC, Orlando,
Houston.
and Houston.
Yeah.
Like those are going to be terrible teams. I think every other team.
Really?
They-
I low key disagree.
Really?
I think one of them is.
OKC.
I don't think they're gonna. I think they have the talent to do it. I just don't think they want to. Do
Yeah,
it.
well-
they're gonna tank.
I don't even think they have the talent to do it. To be honest with you.
Last year they're almost 500, and then
Yeah,
they
like I
shut the guys down.
think that they're so young that it's too. I don't want to put any labels on OKC, man. Their team is way too
But
young.
I
Like,
think-
I'll talk about OKC
Yeah,
later.
okay,
I'll talk
okay,
yeah. Sorry. Fuck. There's so much to get into, boys.
Okay, real quick though, I think the Spurs aren't going to be a good team either.
That's a good point.
Yeah, I know.
That's a
When
good
I look
point.
at the Spurs, I'm just like,
It's sad.
There's
dude.
no
Yeah,
scoring.
it's just
But-
There's
what
no
is the
scoring
year?
on
No,
that
there's no
roster.
scoring. DeJounte Murray's your best player.
Yeah.
I think Keldon Johnson's going to have a good year though.
Yeah.
I like Keldon Johnson a lot.
Okay.
And
I'm not
then,
familiar with Keldon Johnson.
You will
really.
be. You will be. Big year coming up.
Okay. Elias gonna text me in the group chat and just be like, "Look at him. This is a play."
And my finals prediction is, I think the Nets get out of the East. I think it's a relative coin flip between them and Milwaukee. I'm betting on Kyrie Irving playing by the end of the year, and I'm also betting on the Nets forward depth, and I think they're going to get buyout guys throughout the year. And I've got Phoenix coming out of the West. I don't think the West is so open in my opinion.
I think
I
so
agree.
too, man. I
I
think
agree.
so too,
And-
bro. I think the East is a
But-
little bit more set in stone than the West.
Yeah.
Just
And I-
by far.
as far as top teams.
Yeah.
Like,
Totally.
Milwaukee
Yeah.
are
Oh
our
yeah.
top
Oh
two
yeah.
teams.
Yeah.
Right. Like I think Miami can sneak in there too.
I
Like,
totally think so
Sure.
too. The
Barring an
Bulls,
injury,
like
Bulls.
we've like
Knicks.
no.
Yeah.
No,
We're not-
we're gonna get into the.
Well,
Knicks.
we'll talk about the next
And
later.
I have the Nets beating the Suns in that final game. I don't
So
think.
you have the Nets.
I've got Nets Suns, and I've got Nets taking the
Oh, I don't think
championship
I-
home this year.
Yeah, I have Lakers. I think the Lakers are gonna win it
Man,
this year.
I
think
see.
that's
This
it
is
for
interesting
LeBron.
because I have a different than
Really?
both
Okay.
of you,
All right.
but
hear
it'll be a variation of what
Okay, yeah,
everything
yeah.
what we said, which is
Yeah.
weird. So
What can I guess? Bucks and Suns again.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I would say.
Ooh.
I mean,
Good
it's either
prediction.
gonna be Bucks and Suns to me or Bucks and the Lakers. I don't want it to be the Lakers. I fucking hate them, but
These are the four teams.
I think I think if LeBron's in his last years and like he's like we're like that game is on right now, and LeBron's like working on different parts of his game because he knows he's not the same player he
He had
used to
3
be.
threes in the first quarter.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like his shooting is. I think one of the reasons why I put him on my fantasy team is because he's got a fucking chip on his shoulder, man. Like he absolutely does.
25 and 10 rebounds right now for LeBron.
On 62% shooting.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, dude. Like
I think I
can
I'm not-
totally see the Lakers being there. I just don't like them. But
Westbrook, horrible.
okay, so upcoming NBA season. All right. So were you finished, Sam? Or
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So I personally expectations. I think this season is going to be one of the best seasons of basketball that has ever been played in the NBA.
Better
to
than
be honest.
1963.
I'm not familiar with
joking,
all the
joking.
old ones, but I'm just saying only because of the pandemic. I think that people are excited to watch live sports and people are excited to play. Like the players know that people are going to be more rowdier than ever. I think people feel they want to feel a sense of community. People are looking for a sense of community right now. And when it comes to sports and teams, I think that, COVID had such a huge impact on getting together and seeing other people and relating to people about anything.
Yeah, I meant to mention that because I meant to mention the whole post-COVID thing. I think having the fans packed out, that's huge. It's gonna be a whole different energy.
Hey, that's what I'm saying, bro. This is the first year, and almost to all the stadiums are full capacity. Like even in Canada, we've got full capacity here.
That's first game's gonna be crazy.
It's gonna be wild.
It's gonna be insane. It's
crazy.
gonna be insane.
Yeah.
So
It's gonna feel like a finals game.
oh god, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh god, yeah. And it's home game first. They did that on purpose. There's no
Raptors are always home game first.
Oh, really?
Always, yeah. Ever since I've been a fan, always.
Okay.
Yeah,
I guess I've
I
never
noticed
paid
that-
attention.
I
that much.
always want to be home first game because I like the commentators announcing all the players. So I'm
Yeah.
like, please be home.
Right.
They're awesome.
garbage out of here. Yeah. So, anyways, yeah. So I think COVID has had a real impact on psychologically because at the end of the day, like these are basketball players. They're also human beings, right? So a human being, like we've all been through COVID. We're all done with this bullshit. Like we want life to go back to normal. We're begging for it. So when it comes to this NBA season, I think I think every single player out there knows that people want to watch and people want to play. Like this is a real fucking thing. And not only that, but I think the talent pool in the NBA has gotten it. I think this is one of my next points, but I think that actually I'll mention this as my next point. We're ushering in a new era of the NBA. We truly are. Like this is a new era of the NBA. We're getting a lot of the older players, like we saw it, like with the retirements of like Dwayne Wade and when Kobe retired. Like
It's
exactly.
crazy.
This is what you're witnessing is insane because this is a new style of basketball that's being played. You have guys who are running 5 out with a big man that's 7 foot tall. Like this is like, and you're having 7-footers shoot. You're having guys like Giannis out there. Like these types of players have never really been around in the NBA. And not only that, it's like you're seeing a lot of guys who grew up playing AAU now coming, like AAU wasn't a thing 10, 20.
Not the way it is now.
Not the way it is
No.
now.
Yeah.
Years
Yeah.
ago. Like,
Oh yeah, now there's like I saw like a 5th grader on Ball His Life the other
yeah.
day.
Yeah, you were talking about this.
Yeah, it's like that's crazy.
Yeah.
Dude.
Who's going to be the next Joel Embiid
like-
or something like
He's,
that?
he's the next Kevin Durant. It's
Yeah,
like
next
he's in
Kevin
grade
Durant.
5, man.
It's like a literal child.
Yeah.
Like, so, and we're ushering in this area. You got guys like Melo Ball and, like in the Ball brothers, I guess. They've been on part of our, I think we see the NBA a little bit differently because we grew up playing basketball in high school, but also watching Ball is Life and watching all these things on YouTube.
sure.
And like, I think if you have older guys who it probably will come on this podcast and older guys who are going to have takes, it's like we just see the NBA a little bit differently because we've been watching these guys for so long, and the style of basketball they play is so different. Shooting has never been as much of a priority as it is now.
Like
and
a lot of the older players, they say that the NBA is in like a tough spot right now with how it's played. You hear that too?
Yeah, I completely
Because-
disagree.
I disagree.
totally.
Absolutely.
They're like, there's no defense. Like, no, the offense is that good.
Exactly, and then the defense has to be better, and
Yes,
that's why
yeah.
you see teams like the Raptors who are evolving to be a defensive team because of the way that this game is. We'll talk about this. We will talk
We've
about
all
this.
season. We've all season.
We've all season to talk about this. And I think one thing I want to shout out, you mentioned this, I think the Warriors have a huge role to play in this. I think the Warriors over the last, 5, 6, 7 years of basketball have had a huge impact on the way that this game is being played. And it's simply because they're forced to. When you got guys like Curry and Clay, you're literally forced to play the game differently and guard these guys.
Yeah, and then Houston became a team who was shooting.
Yep.
Like, what was it like 53s a game or
Yeah.
something like that?
They're shooting more threes than twos.
Yeah,
Which is insane.
Unheard
Or
of.
it's at the rim or a 3-point shot.
Yeah.
And the whole
It's
live by
the
the 3,
best
die
value.
by the 3 thing, they missed 26 straight threes in a conference finals game. Crazy.
So yeah, and last thing I wanted to see. Oh man, expectations for this season. I personally think we're gonna see a lot of new guys. I think we're gonna see a lot of young players who have been stifled by COVID over the last 2 years, who have been practicing with these NBA teams for quite a while. Like we just looked at a guy tonight, plays with the Bucks.
Jordan Nwora.
Jordan Nwora.
Jordan Nwora, baby.
Exactly.
Two Jordan Nwora mentions in the first half an hour.
And many more to come.
Exactly. And yeah, I think we're gonna see. I think we're gonna at the end, by the time the NBA season's over, I think we're gonna be sitting here talking about names that we would have never known otherwise. I think we're gonna talk about, and we're gonna mention these guys and say, where this guy's coming straight out of left field, no idea that they were even popped up. And I think by the end of the season, there are gonna be some known players.
That's what I love about teams that we mentioned earlier who aren't competitive. The opportunities that these guys get, like OKC, like Darius Baisley. He's such a good player, and he's got so much opportunity on the Thunder to show that. And like Lou Dort, too. Guys like that.
My guy.
Yeah.
We'll get into this.
Oh.
This guy's already predicting everything I'm going to say. Anyway, so that's kind of the end of my expectations. So, all right, let's go. Teams to look out for. Elias.
All right. We had a little debate about this earlier, and I was told to save it for the podcast. Teams to look out for.
Coming out of the which conference?
East.
I started with East too. Okay, we'll start with East Conference first because we are in the East. So
I think the New York Knicks are going to be at least.
Come on, man.
No, okay. You guys are seriously sleeping on the Knicks, dude. Kemba Walker. Look at their 10-man rotation, man. I think
You even said yourself Kemba's always injured. Like this guy, or even was that
I
Sam?
said that earlier today.
I think Kemba was.
He can play. He can.
So he is a good player.
Yeah, he's 2 years removed from a All-Star starting spot.
Yeah.
And last year he was injured, And Celtics weren't like the Celtics have a weird time with point guards, man.
Yeah.
Kyrie Irving,
Celtics
it was
wasn't
weird
the place
too.
for
It's just
him.
weird injuries, yeah.
No, man. Starting lineup: Kemba Walker, Evan Fournier was the second best scorer. Best scorer on a
he's
playoff
underrated.
team.
I think Evan Fournier is underrated on NBA.
He's second best scorer on a playoff team for multiple years. Orlando.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, they were a playoff team.
RJ Barrett,
true.
crazy good year last year. Underrated player. In my
dude,
opinion.
he got so much hate for like he's a rookie, and so his rookie year was decent. Then the year after that was like not very good, and he got so much hate. And I'm like, dude, he's been in the NBA for like 2 years, bro.
Second,
Like,
I really liked him last year.
was that his second year?
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
sorry,
Yeah,
first year. His first year was bad.
First year was bad.
First year was bad, and everyone
Inefficient.
hated on him. And I was like,
First year, man.
it's
like,
a first year,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah,
Like
he's 19.
he was the top prospect. Like, what did he get drafted?
He
Like
was number 3.
third. Yeah,
Third.
exactly. I was like, just give him some time. And plus,
Yeah.
at the time, New York sucked,
yeah, and also
man.
so many
They still
rookies
suck,
get
but, like-
shit on their first year. But
Yeah,
then they become who they become, right?
Exactly.
Like, there's something like Lonzo, for
DeMar
example.
DeRozan was not good his
man.
first year.
No, he wasn't. Look at him now.
Exactly. And I think that could be said about so many top tier NBA
Kawhi
players.
Leonard.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Paul
Great,
George,
yeah.
all of them, like almost all of them. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Jokic was a nobody for
Yeah.
a few years.
Yeah, we were actually just talking about that. So
So
Knicks.
so Kemba, Fournier, Barrett, Julius Randle, all NBA third team player. It was like he averaged like 24 and 11 last year, and he's gonna do that again.
Okay.
And then at center, they're probably gonna start Nerlens Noel over Mitchell Robinson.
I like
think.
Nerlens Noel. I have him on my fantasy team.
He gets you steals and blocks in the center.
You even know when I picked up
Yeah.
Nerlens Noel
No,
for my fantasy
yeah,
team.
'cause
You were
I
like,
was
good
about to pick him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then like it's funny because nobody else in our fantasy league would even know who Nerlens Noel
But
is.
his stats don't show it, but he makes such an impact. Like, he
He
averages like 4
does,
points a game.
dude.
His impact is
He's
crazy.
he's intense too. Like he's a good player. Like he's just like he's so dialed in. Like
Yeah.
whenever I watch him play, I love watching him play because he's just such a team player and he's just
Oh,
such,
yeah.
like he's out
No
there
ego.
and no ego and he's
No.
out there just like
he does his job.
grabbing rebounds, getting blocks, getting steals. Like I don't think he's let the mental game affect him at all.
No.
Like I love Nerlens
Yeah,
Noel.
that's a starting 5. And then off the bench, Derrick Rose.
Oh, I forgot they still had D Rose.
Yeah. See, I'm convincing you right now, aren't I?
No.
No.
I still
No.
think New
Alec
York's
Burks.
just like,
Alec
Burks.
maybe give him a year. Maybe give him a year.
Alec Burks, underrated player.
I don't know
Sure.
much
Remember
about
when he
Burks.
was on the Warriors?
You can score. You
when
can
he was on
score.
the Warriors, he's getting like 19 a game.
can score.
Yeah, that year, Steph and Clay were both out.
Yeah.
I like Quickly a lot. I
Yep.
think Quickly's a good
Yep.
player.
I'm trying to remember who that
He
is.
has that crazy like 4-step back last year. Broke a guy's
He's on a
ankles.
nice
No,
floater.
fuck.
Really good floater.
I can like picture his name on the jersey. I just can't match a thing to the face. This is why I can't even like give a huge take on
Sure.
Knicks. I just know that last year they sucked, and Julius Randle's one of those guys.
Did the Knicks
that
sucked last year?
They were not good.
I don't know.
The Knicks?
They're a 4 seed.
Were
They're
they?
4 seed, yeah.
I don't know. I just didn't enjoy watching them play. Like,
Oh no, they were not enjoyable.
Yeah,
No.
I did not enjoy
Really?
watching
You guys
them
didn't like
play.
watching play? Their
No.
defense is
No, man.
crazy.
I thought it was lucky.
Yeah.
Oh,
I thought they got a
y'all
lot of
are
luck on
nuts.
corner threes.
One
You guys
thing
are nuts.
about Julius Randle though is that I feel like see, this is like a lot of you guys were listening. You guys are so casual, but at the end of
That's
the
quickly.
oh right
Yeah.
right yes yeah, but Julius Randle, I feel like he's one of those guys, almost like Pascal Siakam. You just can't build your team around a guy like that. I think he's.
I don't think so either.
Yeah.
But you have so many. You have Kemba Walker there too.
Yeah.
Fournier.
So yeah, you might be changing my opinion on New York now.
Fourth seed last year. It's not crazy. They got Kemba Walker, an all-star point guard.
Yeah.
It's not crazy to think they're going up to third seed.
Yeah.
And the Sixers are weird right now.
They're
I'm not
super
saying,
weird.
I know it's a bold prediction.
We haven't even really talked about the Sixers at all. It's like a team we have
It's
not
hard to
mentioned.
talk about
Yeah.
because you don't know what they're going to be in 2
Yeah,
weeks.
that's true.
But the Knicks, man, like, no, I wouldn't predict them 3 seed, but I predict them 100% top 5 seed. 100% top 5 seed.
I almost say 100% below 7. 7 is the highest. And
Just because you have to also think like the East is so competitive.
lot better
this
this
year.
year.
It's so much better.
But competitive.
think about the Heat.
But
Think
think
about
competitive teams though. The defensive teams win competitive battles.
Yeah.
The Knicks are one of the best defensive teams in the league.
I think their defense got worse. I think
They were
Alfred
third-
Payton
they're
was a
third
big.
best in the
I think Alfred Payton was a big part of that. They've got
No, it's all Tom Thibodeau, man.
So their defensive
Alfred
scheme,
Payton barely played last year.
he was their starting point guard.
And he played 6 minutes and got kicked off for the game. No. He played 6 minutes playoffs. He
Oh,
stayed
wait,
like
playoffs.
6
like
minutes.
clipping
Their
the
playoff
mics.
defense got ripped to shreds. Their pick and roll defenses. I
No,
don't
Trae
trust their
Young just went off
scoring.
in the playoffs.
I don't trust their scoring. I don't think Julius Randle can replicate what he did last year percentage wise. He got a lot of his contested shooting percentage is pretty crazy, and I think that showed in the playoffs. I think you're putting a lot of faith into Derrick Rose and Kemba Walker, who have both had really.
That's
That's a lot of injury issues.
That's a top tier point guard rotation also.
In 2015, yeah.
And 2021.
No.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
They'll
We'll see.
at
we'll
least play
see.
60 games.
But their point guard rotation last
Okay, guys,
year.
we gotta
was-
move on. We gotta move on.
All right,
Okay,
all right.
so let's go. Second
All right.
team out of the. We got all season to talk about
Yeah,
this.
You're
Sure.
right. You're right. Charlotte Hornets. I think
Okay.
they're better than last year. I don't think they're going to be doing anything crazy, but I think they can.
Yeah.
7 seed.
I
think
agree.
I can see them 6 seed at best, but I doubt it. But they can win the playing.
Totally.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think 6 seed is a good place to put
Yeah.
them for sure.
Yeah, 6, 7, 8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
All right. So, wait, West coming out of the
let's
West.
do all our East first.
Oh,
I like
East.
that.
Okay,
Yeah.
so Sam coming out of the East. This is gonna be like a 2-hour-long podcast.
Okay,
They're like,
Sam.
we're
First
like, this is
episode.
gonna be like a quick
Well,
20-minute
there's-
podcast.
Yeah,
Okay,
it was supposed to be 20 minutes.
Yeah.
I've
It's literally 1 a.m. right now.
It is.
Yeah.
That's funny.
My Eastern team to watch.
Sorry, Keaton, my roommate.
Oh, yeah.
Shout out to Keaton.
Sorry,
Sorry,
Keaton.
buddy.
One of my
Classic
Eastern
Brandon.
teams to watch is the Washington Wizards.
Interesting take.
I thought they did really well in the Russell Westbrook trade. I think they got back quality NBA players, and that is what you need to win regular season games a lot of the time.
The Knicks have those.
They do. I like
Why
Washington.
is it just like Knicks? You need to get a Knicks jersey.
I know, I
I'll
do.
get you a Knicks jersey from Barrett at
D Rose?
at the no RJ Barrett
Oh, true.
at the Sport Check. They're here.
Oh,
The
yeah,
RJ
yeah,
Barrett
yeah,
jersey.
yeah.
I'll get you an RJ Barrett jersey.
Okay, do
Christmas.
that.
Why not? We're starting a podcast together, man.
Let's
Come
do it.
on, fuck.
All right.
I like the Wizards' defense this year. Caldwell Pope is a good defender. Kuzma
forgot
can
they
be an
got
average
KCP,
defender.
You forgot for a reason.
Fuck yeah, it's
He-
true. Well,
he is
I
a
just
real-
watched their last
he's
preseason
a
game
good
against the
role player.
Raptors. I'm like, was not impressed.
I like Daniel Gafford a lot.
Me too.
I think Rui can have a bit of a step this year. I'm not a big fan of Jenny Avdia. I don't think, but who knows? He could flash something. Yeah, I like the Wizards. As a 10 seed, as a 9
Yeah,
seed.
yeah, no,
but
yeah.
Yeah.
They're not expected.
I
I
like-
think,
I
to
like
do
their
that.
roster.
Point
I
is
like
that
their
they're
roster.
probably going to do better than most people think they
I
might
think so.
do.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. I think they're playing team.
Yeah, and then this team, I don't have them making the play in, but I think they're gonna be a lot more competitive. Is the Detroit Pistons? Because I think they're really
interesting.
young, but they've got, I think, a lineup of Cade Cunningham, Sadiq Bey, Jeremy Grant, Kelly Olynyk, Isaiah Stewart.
That's a big lineup.
That's a big
Yeah,
lineup. That's a really good.
holy
That is a really good
Did Sadiq
defensive.
ever-
Jesus,
Did
I
he
didn't
play the
even-
2 last year at all?
He can guard two.
He can. No, he can. I'm just saying. Like,
No,
he did
I
last
don't
year.
know.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
That's
doubt it.
interesting.
But I think that would be a fun lineup. I think
It's
you've got.
just in. Isaiah Thomas is back on the Pistons. He's going to stop recording or doing his show.
I think they can do some fun things with the roster.
No Killian Hayes love though. Eh?
I think Killian Hayes could take a step. I think he's not a starting point guard or a starting, but it's the second season.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you never know.
Yeah.
I love Isaiah Stewart. I love Sadiq Bey. I think Kelly Olynyk was a great signing. Guys, I could, there's a possibility they trade a guy like Jeremy Grant, but I think they're gonna be a competitive team every night. They were a competitive team last year. Like they won a
Yeah.
lot of games against
I like the
good
Pistons.
teams, and
Yep.
yeah, probably still a 14 seed, but A competitive 14
Competitive 14 seed. That's the NBA this year, man.
Yeah,
Everyone's competitive.
exactly. I agree.
Yeah.
And then your next team out the Eastern Conference.
Those are my 2 Eastern.
Wait, which ones did you
Washington and Detroit.
Detroit. Right. Okay. So my team's still looking. Oh, sorry. Excuse me.
1 a.m. guys.
What's that?
It's 1 a.m.
Yeah,
Give us a
well,
break.
I don't even know why I'm tired. Like, I'm actually not really that tired. I'm kind of amped up right now, to be honest. I'm hot, dude. I need to get that. We got an AC machine back in the back of the room, dude. I gotta get that shit going, bro.
Does it not
It's
work?
hot. No, it works. I just don't know how to use it. Yeah, it's just brand new, so I don't know how to use that shit. So teams to look out for coming to the East for me: Hornets. I think they're gonna be better. Like you said. It's not gonna be like they're not gonna
blow people's minds.
oh yeah, like not by. I just think that they're better than they were last year. I
Yeah.
agree with what you said. I think that the Hornets are a team that I think is like they got a lot of media attention, right? Like they call
LaMelo.
it LaMelo, and that's the thing is they didn't have the best season in the world last year, but I definitely think that this year they're gonna step it up. They got a lot of really good players that I took on my fantasy team because I was like impressed. You know, I think did I get Miles Bridges?
Yeah,
I
he
I think I got
Miles Bridges too.
Yeah, I got Miles Bridges in my
league, yeah.
fantasy team, dude. I love that guy. I think that the thing is about the Hornets to me is I think they make really good moves. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
and that's partly why I love the Eastern Conference is because the Eastern Conference teams seem to approach, except for Boston, seem to like approach the game a little bit differently than the Western Conference, and that's partly why.
Western is super superstar based.
Exactly.
Right?
It's very like let's draft the best players, highest seeds, and I think the Eastern Conference is a little bit more investment. I think it's a
Yeah.
little bit more time,
Long term.
Exactly, and you got
I
to
love
think about
that,
it.
yeah.
And here's partly why I think so is because I think it's a lot easier to get players to play on the West Coast than on the East Coast because the East Coast, except in Florida and stuff, but the East Coast is cold, man. It's a different environment. Whereas if even if you're drafted to Sacramento, like you're still living in like a 30-degree sun every day. You're
Yeah.
chilling. Whereas you know if you're going to
Detroit.
New York or
Yeah.
anything it's tough, man. It's a different weather. It's different type of players, and I think this boils down to investment. I think that they're like looking for players to invest in who are eventually going to be good. And that's one of the reasons why I'm interested in your Knicks take because I think they did do it a little bit of an investment there and are looking for guys who are all around
they
good
did.
players. So
Yeah.
that's partly why. But I think the Hornets this year are going to be a fun team to watch. I think that like you said, we said talking about their announcers and everything, they'll be fun. They're going to be a good
They're
team.
one of the fun. They're a league pass team.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Step up from last year, and that's what I'm looking forward to. I'm very much looking forward to them playing the Raptors, and yeah. Almost forgetting this is a Raptors podcast, boys. So next team I have coming out of the East, teams to look out for is the Bulls.
I was hoping someone would say Bulls.
yeah,
I want to
yeah.
talk
I
about
was
them.
getting a little
Dude.
worried there. No,
Yeah.
no.
I want to talk.
Yeah,
I love the Bulls.
I
love
made
the
sure you
Bulls.
guys
I just want to be
knew
kind of
the Bulls.
different.
No,
I love the Bulls. Yeah.
I love the Bulls. I think that they made some. Like I love Zach Levine, and I've loved Zach Levine, since he was drafted. I just watched him play. I remember we watched him. I think we watched him play when he was in college, in high school.
UCLA, yeah.
Yeah, and just he's one of those guys that just just like Devin Booker doesn't talk shit about the team that he's on, even if they suck. I think
he hasn't won 3 games before Team USA. He hasn't won 3 games in a row since.
That's so
Yeah.
so crazy.
Yeah.
which is wild. And he's just a guy that I think his fit with Lonzo is just going to be so good. You can
gonna be
already
so
see them in
fun.
preseason
Yeah.
connecting. I think DeMar DeRozan is such a good vet add to that team. Vucevic, I think you mentioned this. Like he might not have as good of a season as he had with Orlando, but
No, he won't.
Yeah.
It's just, there's too many guys.
exactly.
On the team.
There's too many guys, but that doesn't mean he's not still a good player. He's a good
Oh, yeah.
role guy. He's a solid dude. Like he can play defense. Like he's a good player.
He's a good defender. I mean, he's a good player. Yeah, he's a good
exactly.
player.
And
good player.
that's what I like about him. And I mean,
All-Star a few times.
yeah, and like when he was playing the Raptors last year, I liked watching him play. He was the guy who was schooling us. Like he was the guy who was finding holes in our defense, and it was the guy who was putting up the points.
Yeah.
So he was that guy. So, and I think he knows. Like he's not a selfish player. He knows what role he's gonna have on the Bulls, and I'm excited to see Kobe White. To be honest, I don't think Kobe White has
I like him
ever
off the bench.
I don't think that he's ever gotten a real shot in the NBA. I think that he was one of the top picks drafted in
19.
2019, and
Yeah.
I think that
He started last year, but it was like
last year was a weird
It was
year
a
too, man.
weird
I don't
year.
think that
And
there
he
was
got
the whole
benched.
COVID
And
thing
he
you're
got
talking
benched for
about, too.
Satoransky.
Yeah.
And,
he did.
Yeah.
Right, I forgot about that. Yeah.
And I just don't think that he's gotten his credit due. I think
I
once
like
he
him
finds
as a 6-man a lot.
I think once he finds a role on the team, and he's that guy, like a 6-man coming off the bench, giving energy. He's an energetic dude. Like
Yeah.
if you ever see him play, like
Yeah.
he plays with energy, he plays with fire. He's gonna only encourage that on the team, and he's not one of these guys who you hear about on House of Highlights, like Ben Simmons talking shit about the team and not showing up to practice. Like he knows that, you know, like there's a lot of Ben Simmons trash on this. We're gonna talk a lot of Ben Simmons trash. On this
today,
podcast.
Today's the day he got kicked out of practice.
Yeah, today's that day. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, but anyways, like so. Yeah, I'm really excited to see the Bulls. I'm so glad the Bulls are good because Chicago is such a great place to play. And
one question people are having is their defense.
I'm
no,
worried.
Dude.
You are worried?
I'm not. I'm really not.
I think they're gonna be a good team. I think they're gonna be a top 6 team in the East. I think their offense is gonna be awesome. I'm worried. I love DeMar DeRozan.
Oh, fair.
He's a bad.
Yeah. He's definitely a liability.
He's a bad
for
defender.
Sure.
And then I really like Zach Levine. He has not shown any capability on the defensive end. He's got the tools, but he's got. And
that's the thing is like we just don't know.
Yeah, and then,
we
but
don't know.
Now that he has more offensive.
And I think but Lonzo's a super defensive oriented player, and I think he's
Patrick Williams too.
Exactly,
and
Williams, I think that's going to transfer over to Zach Levine because he knows he's going to look around and say, okay, well, I need to start trying on defense more because.
He's doing
we actually can have a contending team here. Like
Absolutely.
you know, like I'm not saying that they're gonna win like Eastern Conference Finals, but I'm saying that they got a shot to get there.
Well,
you know,
Wiggins last year has best defensive season because he's playing with like guys like Steph Curry and Draymond Green who want to win so bad, and you're like, okay, you need to play defense to win. Especially Draymond
exactly.
Green,
and
right?
everyone was
So
saying Andrew Wiggins is a liability because he can't play defense, and it's
last year's best defensive year.
Yeah, exactly.
Even Devin Booker last year had his best defensive year. You know, it's
Chris
like
Paul.
and just a smaller role in the offense. Like he's not expending all of his energy. So I think Zach Levine, he's gonna have like DeMar's gonna handle the ball.
Yeah.
Lonzo's gonna handle the ball. Vucevic is gonna get touches. Caruso's gonna get touches off the bench.
Oh,
Caruso
slept on.
Yeah.
He's a great defender too.
He's so good.
Caruso and Kobe White's a fun bench.
I think Caruso.
And Derrick Jones Jr. too.
Yep.
I think. Oh yeah, forgot about Dennis Smith Jr. Dude, he's
Derrick Jones Jr. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Derrick Jones Jr. Sorry. But I love. I like Caruso. I think if he can improve his shooting this year, I think he could be like such a good point guard, dude. Like I think he just knows what to do. He's a smart player and
he's a good player.
And I think I didn't like him on the Lakers. I really didn't. I think that he was always in the shadow of somebody else, like KCP or LeBron, and they didn't really give him the credit. I think that he was one of those guys that he was like a novelty player. They were like, oh, look what this.
He was just a meme, right? Like
he
every
was a
time he did
meme.
something,
Yeah.
Exactly.
He's not contribute, but it's the whole meme, like, oh, he did something.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
that's what I'm saying. But I'm like, give this man some respect. Like he's
like,
good.
Yeah. His
He's a
dunks
really
so
good
mean.
player.
Though, hey,
His
too,
dunks, he's
he's
massive.
huge, dude.
Athletic, like underrated, because people are like, oh my god, the white bald guy dunked. It's like, yeah, he
He's
can
also
do
an
that.
amazing
Yeah, man.
defender. And
Yeah. So exactly,
I
that's
love
one
that
of the
pickup
reasons
for
why I
them.
got the Bulls. So okay, West coming out of the West. Let's go, Elias.
All right. First one, I'll talk about the more weird one first, actually. I really like the Timberwolves this year. I really like Timberwolves. They didn't do much this offseason.
about the Timberwolves.
They didn't do much this offseason, but I think if you have a healthy D'Lo, Edwards, and Cat all season, and then I think the starting lineup should be D'Lo, Okogie, Edwards, Vanderbilt, Towns, because those top three guys aren't playing much defense. But Vanderbilt and Okogie are both defensive anchors. Like that's all they do.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I like that. I like that mixture a lot.
then you've got Jaden McDaniels.
And Jamie Daniels off the bench. I don't love his defense, but
I think he's gonna.
he's
I
lengthy.
think he's got a ton of potential.
yeah.
In that.
And then like off the bench, Malik Beasley can be your spark plug off the bench. He averaged 20 a game last year.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, just coming off the bench. I love that. And like Naz Reid's an underrated player.
Yep. Good backup.
Patrick Beverly, none of us like Patrick Beverly, but he's gonna bring that energy, man. And that's what
fair enough.
that team needs energy.
Yeah, they need energy.
Yeah. They're so slack all the time, right?
Yeah.
So I can see the Timberwolves being competitive, making a push for that 9-10 seed play-in spot, and who knows, they could win that and go to the playoffs.
Yeah.
Right?
Totally.
Yeah.
I think they're gonna make the play-in. I think they're the
Do you think
9-10
so?
seed.
Yeah.
I don't know if they win the play-in, but I think they can. That's a step for them. Just
Exactly.
having a little bit
They've
of
been
competition.
bad for so long. Like the one time they made the playoffs in the past like 15 years, whatever it is, was with Jimmy Butler, and Jimmy Butler hated it there.
And they got
Yeah.
they got swept by Houston, right? Or they won, lost in 5.
Yeah, it was Houston.
Yeah.
Yeah. So no, I think this could be a really good year for the Timberwolves coming up. I like it a lot.
Okay. Interesting. And so next team.
Golden State Warriors. Clay is coming back. I think they could be a 4 or 5 seed this year.
I still think the Warriors are just as talented as they were in any years past.
They won a championship with Steph, Clay, Draymond, Iggy too. Iggy is on the team. He's way less Iggy than he used to be.
Oh yeah.
He's not. I don't think he's gonna play much. People
I
really-
want Iguodala. I feel like that should be another drop. Yeah.
It'll never get used, but like the one time it gets used, it's pretty lit.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I really like
Max
the Warriors
fucking
team.
Kellerman, dude.
And
This guy. Sorry, fuck.
they're built to win a championship. They brought in shooters, they brought in defenders. Like Iguodala, he can defend still. He's still a good defender. Yeah, so I just like the Warriors this year. I think I like their rookies too. I like how they get to the draft. They drafted Kuminga, who's a raw prospect.
Oh yeah.
He's not going to play for 2 years probably. But he'll develop, and then by the time he starts playing, he'll be a good guy for them.
Yeah.
I like Moody too. Yeah.
Nice. I agree.
Yeah.
So we could have so much long conversation about this, but I'm trying
Yeah,
to move
I'm
things
trying to
along.
move things along.
Yeah,
Also,
a
that's what I'm
little
trying
bit,
to do. Yeah.
I've one of these I've already talked about is the Suns. I think they're gonna be awesome this year. I love that team. I think the Landry Shamet pickup. A little more creation off the bench.
I forgot about that.
JaVale McGee, they needed a backup
I
center.
like JaVale McGee a lot.
Yeah, they
as
really.
a player.
That was how they got. That's what really one of the reasons they got killed by Milwaukee in the playoffs.
Yep.
So they have someone when Aiden's off the floor.
He's a meme also, but he's a legitimate good player.
Yeah.
He's a real solid. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then my other one is a little different. They've got my favorite coach, or my second favorite coach behind Nick Nurse, is the LA Clippers.
You like Ty Lue?
I think Tyron Liu he's my coach of the year front runner.
See, I'm not a Clippers fan. I don't really care
That's a
for the
hot take.
Clippers.
Yeah, so I thought Tyron Liu was. I thought his coaching in last year's playoffs was absolutely amazing.
You're right.
I thought his adjustments, the way he went small, the way he really stretched out Utah's defense and exploited their bad perimeter defense, which in turn got Gobert away from the rim, was like just awesome. I don't like the Eric Bledsoe move whatsoever.
Yeah, I hate it.
But I really believe in Paul George.
Yeah, that seemed like a very weird. Why?
That's a weird one to me.
Yeah, because Bledsoe, his game
doesn't
it doesn't
fit at all.
fit. Like,
He just hasn't shown much in the last few years.
And especially
a
because
bad
the
player,
Clippers
man.
don't really, like, as far as I can remember, the Clippers don't really have a lot of great shooters. And, like, one of the things about Bledsoe is, like, one of the reasons why they didn't want him on the Bucks is because he just couldn't provide the shooting for them that they could get from other players, and especially guys who had been sitting on their bench. And, I definitely think you're, like, out of the Bucks, you'll see way more production out of, like, guys like DiVincenzo, like, this year, like, for
Jordan
sure.
Nwora.
Jordan Nwora, exactly. Like these guys,
Connaughton.
exactly. You don't need Eric Bledsoe anymore. Like you just, you don't.
Yeah.
You know, and
He's the one that he kind of sold him in the playoffs against the Raptors.
Oh,
when
yeah.
the Raptors beat him.
Yeah.
He wasn't doing anything.
No.
yeah, exactly.
He wasn't even playing defense.
Yeah, it's tough.
But I think I don't think Reggie Jackson's gonna shoot the same percentages as he did in the playoffs, but I think he can be a solid point guard. I really like Nick Batum's role in that team. I think Terrence Mann can take a slight leap. I'm not as high on him as some just from that playoff series, but I think he can be a high level role player. Zubac is a solid center, and then Serge Ibaka is going to be back from injury.
Right.
They didn't have him all playoffs, so I don't. I think there's.
And we love Serge on this podcast.
Yeah,
Shout out to Serge Ibaka.
I
We
miss
love
Serge
Serge
Ibaka,
Ibaka.
man. I miss
If
him.
there's one guy that I'm so sad that's left Toronto, is Serge Ibaka. Even though, like, I understand why he had to leave, and I honestly think our team is great now. And I to be honest, I wouldn't necessarily want Serge on the
doesn't
Raptors.
fit now.
Yeah, he doesn't fit now, but. Man, was he ever such a great pickup? And he was
so happy all
he
the
was
time.
so happy to be on the Raptors. He loved Toronto, and he loved the fans, and he was so enthusiastic about being on the Raptors. When I think of Serge Ibaka, I associate him with the Raptors, even though he only played for the Raptors for not like a super long time. Like I don't think of
4 years, 3
OKC.
years,
I don't
yeah.
think of any other team that he's been on. I think of the Raptors when I think of Serge Ibaka.
I think also when we started watching, he wasn't crazy on OKC at that time.
No.
I want to talk about the Clippers more though, because I really hate the Clippers team. I hate that roster so much.
Really?
I hate how they're built.
I'm just sorry. Again. Point where people will say I'm a fucking casual because I just don't know much about these other teams. I know some teams rosters, but like not as much as I get.
The Clippers outside of Paul George, they have pretty much nothing in my opinion.
I think they have good role players around Paul George, and I think that can win you.
Kawhi?
He's injured.
Yeah.
Oh, he's injured this year. Fuck, I forgot.
So-
I'm like.
With Kawhi, I still don't like how the roster's built, but I mean, you have Kawhi and Paul George, you're gonna be a good team.
Yeah.
I really don't. I 10 seed at best for me.
I still don't
Really?
think like you
Yeah.
can't. Paul George is also one of those guys I don't think you could build a team around.
I think he can win regular season games.
He
though.
can, and but like my point with it is, when he had his MVP caliber season, he was on OKC with Westbrook, who was still a very. We like to shit on Westbrook. He is still a good player, but he was really good with Paul George. And they were the 6th seed that year. So with just Paul George, and then you have Reggie Jackson.
But they were just. I feel like that was one of those
Eric
teams that's
Bledsoe.
so plateaued. Like they were never gonna get higher than that.
Yeah.
Like,
But I'm saying Paul George has MVP season. They're saying Paul George has MVP season this year. If he does, which I don't think is
not even close.
I can see it, but I think it's a hot take. If he does do that though, they're not gonna be better than a 6 seed.
No,
they're gonna be way lower.
That's what I think though. I think their ceiling's a 6 seed.
Really?
I think their floor is the 10. I don't think they fall out of the play.
I think their ceiling's 10 seed.
Really?
Yeah. I don't like their team at all. I don't like Zubac. I don't like Eric Bledsoe at all.
I don't mind Zubac. I thought I liked him on the Lakers.
He's not a good defender.
Yeah, fair. He's slow.
But they can go small. Like they might be the best team at going, like with Batum and Marcus Morris. Yeah,
and they've
got Isaiah
like
Hartenstein now. And I don't know. I think they've got like
they have no one I'm high on, man, at all.
No, they're not like an inspiring team whatsoever.
Even like Luke Kennard doesn't play defense.
No,
God, the roster right now.
No.
I don't think Terrence Mann's gonna have much of a jump either. I think he'll be okay. He'll be better than best season for sure coming up. But like nothing out of the nothing.
He's not winning most improved.
Knock your socks off,
So wait, okay. So you said it was the Clippers and the Suns. Okay, all right, sounds good. Well, mine I thought kind of we were gonna go with a little bit of teams that like might surprise us.
Sure.
A little bit. First team, I think it's OKC. Like I just like their young roster. I remember watching them play last year and was very impressed. I got Alexej Poku on my fucking fantasy team. I think he's a fucking 7-footer and can shoot the lights out, man. I think that this guy has a potential to be really good.
I think he's overrated.
Really?
Yeah.
Pokuševski.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
I think he'd be a good player, but those type of players get so much love now. Because we saw a few guys do it.
Yeah, but I think the thing that I think
Bol
about him
Bol's
is that
another
my
example.
guy, like he's only like 20 though. Like
Yeah, no, he's young. I think he could be a good NBA player.
yeah, like I don't want to put a label on him before it's too early.
No, I think he can be a good NBA player. Don't get me wrong. I don't think he's gonna be an all-star. He still could. He's so young. I think he could. But like I just don't.
I think he's all-star potential for sure. It depends on how his game develops. It really does.
It's big, this year's gonna be a big year.
Yeah,
for him,
exactly.
Like just big here in the sense that what we're gonna see from him.
Yes, it's an extremely young team. Like I think that they've got a lot of raw talent on that team. That just one of the shitty parts is that the fact they're in OKC.
I like Josh Giddey though.
Okay, yeah.
I like Baisley a lot. I like Baisley more than Pokuševski. I like Baisley a lot.
I think I do too.
Yeah.
I think he's more developed at this point.
Yeah.
As far as the future goes, I think I like what Darius Baisley brings to the team more than Pokuševski does.
Fair enough. Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
I just definitely that's why I'm saying OKC.
Yeah.
Like I'm saying like we said, teams are competitive this year. Like I don't think that OKC is one of those teams where you can be like they're shit. You know what I mean? I think it's one of those teams where it's like I think that they can win games. I think you might see them surprisingly win a game maybe against like Chicago or something like that. That's a bold take, but like
they're gonna win some good games.
Yeah, I think they're gonna win some games.
And until management says no more.
Yeah.
Shea hurts his foot or something. And,
yeah, exactly. And then the
Stubs
other
his
team.
toe, he's out for 3 weeks.
Yeah, exactly. The other team that I've got coming out of the West was teams to look out for. I don't want to be too bold with this, but the Pelicans. I think that it's a team to look out for. I think that since Zion's had so many injuries and there's been questions over whether he takes his health super seriously. I think you brought this up the other day. I think he's going to be forced to, and I think the Pelicans are going to be one of those teams that, they got a lot of young guys on the team, and I think it's just too early to say that they're.
I think there's so much pressure for them to be a great team.
Yeah, exactly.
Zion will force way out.
Totally.
Zion's 20, man.
Yeah.
21.
He's not forcing his way out either.
No,
he's going to sign his rookie
But
extension.
like I said, I think they're a team just like OKC that's going to, better than OKC,
Yeah.
but they're going to win surprising games. I think that there's going to be a lot, because they're, at the end of the day, like you've got a lot of guys on that team that hustle. That play basketball. You know what I mean? Like they play, they go out there, they run hard, and they like to play. Exactly.
Alexander Walker and Josh Hart like a lot.
Yeah, exactly.
I love Josh Hart.
I love Josh Hart. I think that he's another guy who slept on. Like and
Jackson Hayes, I like.
Yes, I think he's got potential to be much better.
Yeah.
And I think the Pelicans are a team to look out for. I mean, personally, I'm not exactly a Pelicans fan. I don't really like the Pelicans like that, but I definitely think that they're going to be a team to look out for and a team that is going to compete.
Yeah.
They're not going to lay down when they're losing. Like I think they're a team that's going to.
I like their that Valanciunas trade for them.
Yes.
Or I like it for Memphis.
Yes.
They got Valanciunas and they got Trey Murphy, who I like more than Zaire Williams, which is who Memphis got.
Yeah. They got the two best. Well,
they won the trade.
Yeah, they won that trade.
Yeah, I like JV for that team, and
I love JV, dude.
but
Yeah.
their defense is going to be very,
Yeah, that's
very,
what-
very
I think
questionable.
their defense is
it's
going to be
true.
bottom
It's true.
bottom three.
That's
bottom
the
three
thing,
for
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Them,
It's true.
Sacramento.
It's
and
true.
Like their only defender, like good defender, that's shown. The only person that's shown they're a good defender on that team is Josh Hart.
Yeah. He's just a versatile player, man. Like he just gets around.
Yeah,
Like,
he
he's
does.
quick. He's fast. He can
Yeah.
get it done in all areas of the floor.
Zion JV might be the worst defensive front court in the
Yeah.
league.
Yeah,
And then
it's really-
Nikhil, Devontae. Yeah, it's
Devontae Graham's a
Yeah.
bad defender.
Oh.
He was so Lonzo was top in plus minus. Graham was lowest in the preseason.
Wow.
they're gonna have a good offense though.
They
Like,
will.
they're gonna score.
Zion's gonna
That's
be
what I'm
great.
They're
saying.
gonna
Is,
score.
yeah, it's they're not going to be one of those teams that lies
I
lies
think
down. They'll fight.
I think they'll be better if Brandon Ingram finally kind of says Zion,
Yeah.
the offense is yours more than
Yeah,
mine. You
yeah.
know what I mean?
He takes
Because
more
it's
of like a
going to open
Middleton
up,
role.
but
Yeah.
when he does that though, I think it's going to open up a lot more opportunities for Ingram
will.
because Ingram is fucking
forces-
really good,
he
man.
forces it a lot,
He forces it, yeah, a lot.
Because he sees Zion taking off. He's like, oh, I got to magic. So, I got to
Yeah.
show him a great player. It's
Yeah.
like if he gives the offense
Another
keys
thing,
to Zion,
I think another one we got to get is you're not that guy. Pat.
You're
You're
not
not
that
that
guy.
guy. Like,
I think and new coach this year too, Willie Green from Phoenix. And I think Stan Van Gundy I just didn't like how I didn't like how he used Lonzo, and then I think you've got to involve. I think Bi and Zion, like they both are such unique players, they should be used together.
Yeah,
like, screening for
totally.
each other, Zion handling, Bi coming off a screen. Like there's so many more things you could do. So I think a new coach in there is gonna help.
I think there's going to be points in their season where they are going to struggle.
Oh yeah.
Totally. I think it's probably going to be most of their season, to be honest. But I definitely think that like they're not going to be, a team that won't be competitive.
You can't take the
know?
night off against them.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so moving on.
Do you want to get into the Raptors?
Yeah, let's just
Yeah.
move on. Let's move
Yeah.
right on. Get right into that. It's so sad because we got so much here to
I
talk
know.
about. It's really sad. But okay, let's move on to Raptors. So first question that we had, it was Raptors players to look out for. Is that what it was?
Excited for.
Excited for Raptors
Yeah.
players. So let's go, Sam, this
Samford,
time. Yeah.
Probably a pretty generic answer, but I am so excited to watch Scottie Barnes this season.
absolutely.
Give it up for Scottie
Absolutely.
Barnes. Woohoo! Oh yeah, we're big
Absolutely.
Scottie Barnes
Yeah,
fans up here in
I
Canada.
love Scottie
Shout out to
Barnes,
Scottie
man.
Barnes. We love you, man. We love you, man.
I think he's not going to score at a great level this year, which is fine. But I think
But dude, his production, dude,
Yes.
is just
Yeah.
insane.
His-
Like,
He's going to
defense-
create a lot of points.
he's
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
it is so rare for a rookie to come in and be an above average defender. Even an average defender is rare, but he's going to be an above average defender. I think he can realistically, like right away in the league, guard 2 through 4. And well, I
Yeah.
think
1
he
through
can
4,
hang
I
with
think.
he can hang with ones, he can hang with fives, but
Yeah.
he can guard 2 through 4 quite easily.
Yeah.
Already, I think his playmaking is just like absurd.
yeah.
Either I want to see more like short roll passing, like kind of how Draymond does.
Okay.
But his open court passing, he can he's showed like a lot from the post.
He's going to fill that Marcus Gasol role that we lost.
Yeah, I think he
Yeah.
brings.
Playmaking.
Well,
His
dude,
playmaking
and I
role.
think his shooting's going to improve a lot this season too. I,
I
think
think
you're
so.
going to be very
OG
like a lot of teams are going to be very surprised at Scottie's ability to shoot the ball.
We were talking about this on the way here. OG wasn't shooting when he came into the league. Pascal Siakam never shot the ball when he came into the league. Now look at, Pascal, bad example from last year.
Yeah.
But before he shot 37%. 2
We'll
years
see how
ago
he does
from
this
three.
year. Yeah.
But OG's a shooter now.
Oh yeah,
He's a shooter.
Yeah.
and
totally.
and for me, Scottie Barnes shooting is just him taking threes. Like I'm not even gonna
Yeah.
look at his percentages
Yeah.
here.
Oh, I love that he shot in
Yes.
preseason.
Oh,
just
yeah.
shoot him.
I
Like
was
who
scared.
cares?
I was a little scared he was going to get Ben Simmons up in here. Like he's
Yeah,
actually shooting
yeah.
threes.
And
His
even the mid
form is
range,
clean,
Yeah.
dude.
It's nice.
His mid-range game is insane,
Yeah,
dude.
he's
He's
got-
hitting step backs. I'm like, jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This guy says like
He's
a
He's
rookie.
not scared to miss, man.
No.
He's
No,
scared
he's
to miss
not.
his
He's
shots.
not. He's not. Something to do with that positive attitude of his. But
he's-
great take, Sam.
Yeah.
Elias.
I knew someone was going to take Scottie, so I didn't take Scottie, but I really like Malachi Flynn coming
I
this
do
year.
too.
Yeah.
Shout out to Malachi Flynn. I love Malachi, dude. I love Malachi. Like we had a conversation I think about Malachi the other day.
Every time I watch him, he reminds me more and more of Fred VanVleet. And I think that's a perfect guy to get mentored by, Fred VanVleet.
Oh.
Just the role they're in and
Almost
everything.
like just identical.
Yeah,
The fact that
yeah.
they're separated by the perfect amount of years.
But
Like,
I think Malachi can be better than Fred.
me too.
I think he's craftier. I think his playmaking
Shooting's
better.
better.
His shot creations can be better. Like, but I'm talking potential wise. Not right now.
Yeah,
Fred's better
potentially.
in every category.
Totally.
But
totally.
down the road, I love Malachi.
I brought this up to you the other day too, and maybe it was Sam. I can't remember, but it was the fact that Fred VanVleet was on the Raptors for a long time and was never got any playing time. Malachi's 22, and he's been getting way more playing time than Fred did in his day. He's creating creating way more shots for himself, shooting the ball way better than Fred.
When Fred at the same age.
Exactly.
Fred was his age.
And I told you this too when I went to watch the Raptors in 2017, and Fred VanVleet was on that team, and he didn't play a single minute, and Kyle Lowry was out. He didn't play a single minute. He was one of those guys that was coming back from the change room early to go shoot baskets at half. You know what I mean? Just shoot around at half. I'm like, he was one of the players that no one in the league would ever be concerned about at that point. And now he's built himself into be the point guard on the Raptors, and the guy who helped contribute to win a freaking championship. You know what I mean? Like,
he got a Finals MVP vote.
Exactly. So I think Malachi. I agree with you. Totally agree with you. Anything else you want to say about Malachi?
No, go ahead. Your guy.
Okay. You guys already know who my guy is, and of course, as throughout you're gonna see with me on this take, Yuta Watanabe, man. I fucking let's give it up for Mr. Yuta Watanabe. I'm a huge Utah fan. Like I think that what he showed playing for any G League team that he played for and any NBA team that he played for was that he knows in his head that he deserves a place in this league.
Yep.
And that's what I just love about his game is that he had a 21-point game last season. Obviously not the Raptors' best season. I don't think it's representative of who the Raptors are as a team. I think it's like a transition year, and I'm sure we can all agree on that.
Yeah.
But Yuta Watanabe, I think is one guy who just even when he came in for the preseason, just was doing. I think he was doing the same things as he was doing last season better.
Yeah.
And I was so happy because one thing that you did not see that with, one is a guy like Freddie Gillespie.
Yeah,
he's
awful.
You did not see that with him. And one thing that I was just so happy was I think Yuta truly understood that he has, Canada on his shoulders. He's got Japan on his shoulders, and he's.
I think Gillespie came into summer league and preseason thinking he already had a spot in the team because he was there last year. Yeah. And I think Utah understood more that I got to fight for this spot still. That's not guaranteed.
Exactly.
And within one game, it was like, oh yeah, Utah. Like
exactly.
It's his spot. Yeah.
Exactly. And I think his shooting is going to improve. I think he's going to be they would put him in for like 5 minutes last year, and he would hit like a 3 or 2 and just
steal
completely cold,
and just impact the game. Like he's always finding ways to impact the game.
He's one of those guys that I just love him because of what he's able to do on the floor.
He's always contributing.
Yeah. And he's got such a great attitude. Just a perfect fit for the Raptors team. I'm sorry. I just love Yuta Watanabe. I need to get. We should all for Christmas gift each other a jersey. Somebody get me a Yuta Watanabe jersey, please.
Per 36, Yuta Watanabe, 40% from 3 on 4.5 attempts a game.
Exactly.
And 1.3 steals, almost a block.
Exactly.
And not even a turnover.
That's what I'm saying. Like he
makes good decisions.
It makes good decisions. I think he has the potential to be much better this season. And I honestly think that he's the type of guy that every once in a while you're going to see a 20-point game from Utah for sure.
I'm scared about what is where he's going to fit in the rotation. I'm not sure he's going to fit yet.
I guess we'll just have to see. Then that's the thing is
Nick
in
and out.
Like
I hope not. But
when it comes to Nick Nurse, it's
different
lineups. Like and he talked about this in a post game interview recently. He was just like, you cannot expect. When you say starting lineup, it's like the lineup's going to change every week. We're going to have new guys coming in starting all the time, and we're just going to see what works and see what doesn't.
That's what I love about Nick is that he's the only coach that really does that.
Yeah,
all the other ones have. It's like this is the starting 5. That's what we're rolling with. Nichols change it, and we get guys on our teams. They don't have egos, right?
No,
so none of them care. They're like
Scottie said that in an interview too. Did you see that? He was like, no one's a jerk. No one on this team is
no
a jerk. Yeah, no one's a fucking Kyrie out there saying I'm better than everybody else, and I'm gonna shit on this entire team. I can carry us to the fucking finals. No one has that attitude.
They all know it's a team oriented thing. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's why Yuta Watanabe is my pick. So what do we got next for the Raptors, Sam?
Favorite offseason move.
Okay. So let's start with Elias. Favorite offseason move?
I think it's a really underrated offseason move. And actually, a little flex, I predicted this pretty early into free agency, picking up Svi Mikhailuk.
Oh man,
I love
good take.
Yeah.
Love that take. Yo, you gotta dap me up for that. That shit. Yeah, let's go.
I love
Let's
Steve
go.
McCulloch, man.
Yeah.
I loved him on OKC last year.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's a confident shooter. That's
Yeah.
what we need a guy who's a shooter, right? And we got a guy who's a 6'7" shooter who he can shoot over guys. We saw him in preseason. He was shooting over guys effortlessly in transition too. We don't have guys who like do that. Like
Nope.
Fred will pull up in transition. He's not a shooter.
No, he doesn't move like Svi does. Svi moves in a totally different way.
I wouldn't say as good as JJ Redick did, but he moves off the ball the same way
Yeah.
JJ Redick did,
Yeah.
right? Like and Doug Robinson, you could say like shooters, right? He's a natural shooter, and he's a 6'7" one. I just love the pickup. I think
Yeah.
he's only going to contribute to the team. He's not going to
Yeah.
hurt us at all.
Yeah.
So
Great take.
Yeah.
I fucking love that.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
awesome.
No, I love it.
I remember watching him in preseason. I'm like, Svi Mihai, like, what the heck? Since when did we pick this guy up?
Early preseason, I was like, a guy I knew we weren't going to do much. I was like, bring back Gary Trent, get Steve Mikhailuk.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Way to go, Elias.
Thanks,
agree.
man.
Totally agree.
My favorite offseason move this year was acquiring Precious in the sign and trade with Lowry. There was rumors that they could have either Precious or Tyler Hero.
There's no way. We
Even
couldn't get
then,
Tyler Hero.
No,
But
yeah.
even then, it makes sense if there was a choice. The Raptors would take Precious. They love the versatility, the defensive ability, the defensive potential, the way he can handle the ball in the open court, his passing ability, the mid-range shot looks really clean. I think the three-point shot's going to get there. I was watching some of his Olympic tape from Team Nigeria, and
He's
was
a
like,
fucking beast.
and he
dude.
was just the way, like, he's such a skilled player, like, and that's a thing, like.
And
That
raw skill
wasn't-
too. He's 22,
He's
man.
22.
And that wasn't showed with Miami last year.
No, because
No, they never played him, man.
they pigeonholed him into a rim running center. While like in going into college at Memphis, he was supposed to be a 4 beside Wiseman, and then Wiseman, only played 3 games. So then he became the 5, and I think Miami kind of pigeonholed him as just a rim running 5. And then
Yeah,
he's got
100%.
so much more to his game than that. He can play that role.
And we saw that in preseason.
But yeah, he can do so much
bringing the
more.
ball
Yeah.
to the floor multiple
Dude, he's shooting
times.
threes, man. Like,
Yeah.
he's getting.
But
Come on, bro.
he was bringing the ball to the floor, pulling up mid range, behind
Yeah.
the back, like doing
Yeah.
all this
Yep.
shit, right? Like,
Yeah, and that's what they need to. They need to develop more of that.
Yeah.
Think about this guy's gonna be like the time he's at 25, 26, bro.
Yeah.
Like he's gonna be
high potential.
Oh god, yeah. I think he's got potential to be like. I'm not like look at his stat line already. It's insane. Like it's all across the board. Like I think he could be definitely putting up 20 points per game.
Eventually, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
not? Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think potential's even more than that. So good, great take. I feel like my take is like so crappy. Like
Re-signing Gary Trent Jr.
no, it was this one's just recent one, but I remember being so impressed, and we had a short conversation about this too. Was the signing of Sam Decker? I really think that was awesome. I think that and I listening to his post game interview. He was like, you know what? They kept telling me to be ready. I didn't play till the last.
That's the mentality our guys
Exactly.
have, man.
And he comes in and scores 18 points in the
so
last
crazy.
fourth quarter. It was
the
like
craziest
no one was
thing I've
really
ever
thinking
seen in
about
my
Sam
life.
Decker until he comes in and it's like, and look who got cut.
I know. I
know,
thought
Wainwright.
Ish
I thought
he
Wainwright
was a
got
guarantee
cut.
to make
Me
it.
too.
I know.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, that was insane. And I was like, so once it became a conversation of Bonga or Ish, and overnight it became Ish or Bonga, or sorry, Decker. Sorry,
Yeah, it was Decker or Bonga.
it was Decker. It became Decker or Bonga, and overnight it was Ish or Bonga.
Yeah, man, he had that game.
And it was like. And you hear him talk about it in the interview. He's like, I know I can shoot. I know I can. And he's tall. He's 6'9",
Yeah.
bordering
Yeah.
6'10".
He can play shooting guard and
Oh,
he's
yeah.
6'9". Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that
if his defense just
It's not-
gets a
he's
little
not
better,
good,
he's
but-
a
It
really
will.
bad defender.
With,
But
with the Raptors,
I mean,
it's
and
bound.
he
to
might not
get
even
better.
play that much, but it's just nice having that guy in your back
And he
pocket who can.
just
I hope he
his
plays more,
if his
to be
mentality is
honest.
always be ready. That's good.
Yeah.
Like he knows he's not.
He's
gonna
got
be
one
like-
job: hit threes. And
Yeah, but I
He did
think
that 45%
honestly
in
I
Turkey.
think he could do more. I honestly think like remember he was top seed draft pick. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
he just had
really
a
good
top
at
20.
Wisconsin.
yeah,
Yeah.
he just had a tough
13.
time. Like he just had a tough time. I think that the Raptors, there was a real steal with Sam Decker, and I think
When we first got him, I was upset. I was like, of course we got the guy who dribbled the
Yeah.
ball. Instead,
Oh,
you know?
and MSG. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like that's the guy we signed. Great.
But and like I know we all here we can be open that Sam Decker's had some controversy, but at the end of the day, I mean if you listen to most guys who have played with Sam Decker, like especially
that controversy with J.R. Smith got cleared up too. Apparently.
yeah,
Like,
oh that's good, that's good, and
I didn't want on him on my team after seeing that, but there were
me either.
like things that he was in Europe and
Yeah.
different perspective on life and stuff. So I'll take that for now. And then,
Absolutely, and just the way that he talks, you can tell he's humble. You can tell he's quite humble.
yeah.
So that's been changing.
I like that. I like that pick.
Okay, last thing we're gonna talk about here, guys. I just want to check one thing. I want to make sure my camera's still recording.
Oh my God.
Thank you guys to anybody who's still tuned in to this
man.
podcast and is still listening.
They won't all be this long. There's a lot to cover.
Yeah.
Or will they?
Or will they?
Yeah, they might. Who knows? Who
Who
knows?
knows, man? We're just having fun.
Exactly. So, and just chatting it up, just talking about whatever it is.
Yeah.
So, I'm really, dude. I'm just having I'm having a blast right now,
awesome,
dude. I'm just
dude.
like, I don't want this to ever end. This is fucking sick. So,
I could go all night, man, for real.
oh yeah. So, expectations.
All right.
Let's go with the expectations. So, Sam, let's start us off with some expectations for the Raptors this season.
Okay, I've got a couple things here. As for a spot in the standings, I think they're realistically going to be within the 7 through 10 range. I think they can totally challenge for a real playoff spot,
Oh yeah.
a 6 seed for sure. I think they're going to be a top 5 defense in terms of defensive rating. Last year they were 15th, but I think there was so much up and down. They had so many bad
injuries
defensive.
I feel like
bench
we
was
just got it
awful.
canceled
Yeah.
last season. It's just so
It's
they're
just-
playing
it was
in
there.
Tampa, man.
Yeah.
Like,
And
come
just-
on,
and
dude.
just- it was just there.
The fans who were in Tampa, there were
booing
more
them.
Tampa fans that were cheering for
Yeah.
the other teams
Yeah.
than they were for the Raptors.
Exactly.
Like, come on, dude.
And we feed off, especially Pascal. He feeds off the crowd's energy, right?
Oh, yeah.
You know.
So I think they can have a top 5 defense.
All the guys do, man. All the guys.
I think they're gonna have a bottom 10, maybe even bottom 5 offense. I am that's my biggest worry is the half court offense, because there's not a lot of shooting with the main players, and then they're last year they were actually a 16th or 15th offense, but you're also losing Kyle Lowry, who still played over half the games last year, and I'm worried about the half court offense. I'm worried about the creation. It'll be interesting to see Fred VanVleet as the main point guard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
And
He's already in preseason actually been impressing me
More of
quite
a point
bit.
guard,
Yeah,
yeah.
I've been
Yeah.
impressed.
Then
Yeah.
Point Scotty's there also.
Yeah.
yeah. It's just that half.
He's got
it's
so
just
much
that
to work
creation.
with than he did last year too. As Fred
Yeah.
being a point guard.
I think the half court offense. It depends on OG and Pascal.
Yeah.
But it's
But I like Scotty kind of doing what Marc Gasol was doing.
Yeah.
And I think that'll help
Yeah.
half court. I wouldn't say a lot, but it'll help for sure.
and if you can get guys that can knock down a shot on the outside there, then yeah,
Speedy
you're looking.
Kylie,
but
baby.
Yeah.
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 Shout out to Svi.
What
Okay,
do you got,
so is that any other expectation?
That's it.
Other
That's it.
expectations? Okay, well,
What do you got?
my expectations. So, I think the Raptors are going to have one of the best defenses in the league. Absolutely. And one thing I think that every single team will be talking about with the Raptors is their depth. I think the
Yeah.
Raptors are the deepest team in the NBA, and I'm not going to move on that. I think that they just have the deepest roster. I think the way that
Underrated depth, 100%.
and I think that the Raptors have honestly always had some of the greatest depth out of any NBA team, and that's what you hear. That's why sometimes it pisses me off listening to other streams of the Raptors, because then they're like, wow, there's a lot of these guys who can play. It's like, yeah,
Of course they can.
well, because if nobody wants to come to Toronto, we've got to get a bunch of decent guys who all want to play.
Yeah.
And one thing that you're seeing now, number one, culture is changing. People, I think you're going to see, are going to want to go to the Raptors. Toronto people know Toronto, and we can talk about that at a later time. But I
All
think
season.
it's
Yeah,
you're
but
gonna see that Toronto's going to start putting its name on the map. For real. Because I think a lot of people think the 2019 championship was a fluke, and
Katie and Clay were injured. It's like,
Yeah.
I think they would have won anyway,
well,
I think so.
personally.
I don't think so. But sorry,
Really?
and I know I'm a diehard Raptors fan. I'm a
All right.
diehard Raptors fan. Absolutely. I'm sorry. I don't agree.
But
But
they would have won Game 6. Golden State would have won Game 6.
yeah.
They would go back to Toronto. No chance Golden State's winning in Toronto.
Oof, yeah,
Yeah,
fair enough.
I
I don't
agree.
know. Fair enough. I don't know. I seen that. I'm not super set on that opinion.
Sure,
If you could
that's fine.
convince me,
I get it.
I could be
I get it.
convinced. But
Katie's a
I
killer.
think just the way that what I saw in that finals, I just think that that's a pessimist. I'm being a pessimist, but I'm sorry. And,
No,
I'm gonna,
I
and
get-
the
I get what
Raptors
you're
fans who
saying,
are
though.
listening, will probably sympathize with both of us. You know what I mean? They'll
I
probably
get
say,
what you're saying,
yeah.
for sure. Yeah.
So, yeah, I think that every single team that's going to play the Raptors is going to obviously know And one thing that the announcers are going to mention, and the coaches are going to mention, and the staff are going to mention is the depth. I think they're going to be like, wow, it is really difficult to play the Raptors because you basically have fresh legs all the time and guys who can play. Like
Delano Banton, dude.
Yes, he's another guy. Like we're gonna have to spend some time talking about Delano Banton because I'm sad his name hasn't been brought up already. Delano.
This hasn't been a Raptors podcast. We've been.
We'll hear it all.
We'll dive deep.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think we should probably actually maybe talk about some 905 games. We should do some bonus episodes about some 905 games.
Sure.
Because
Delano and David Johnson, those guys are gonna play their champagne.
Yeah.
Alex
Absolutely.
Antetokounmpo.
But that's the thing is. But I feel that I think a lot of teams are going to be surprised when they play the Raptors because there's going to be that's 48 minutes of true hard basketball playing. And I think that a lot of teams don't have the depth to be able to compete. I think one thing you've been seeing in the preseason is especially like if you look at that Washington game, that Washington played pretty much their main guys. Montrezl Harrell was out there. They played Kyle Kuzma. They played
their entire team.
Yeah. And the Raptors had their bench players playing for most of that game.
Bonga started.
Bonga started that game, and they still won just because they out hustled them and played better defense. And I honestly didn't even think that was that good of a game. I was not really impressed with how the Raptors were playing that game, and they still won. So
and you see teams like the Lakers, who I think their depth is very overrated. They were 0-6.
I agree.
They weren't playing. I mean, they actually still lost with their top 3 guys, but they played a lot of their bench guys, and they weren't good at all.
Yeah, exactly.
It was gross.
So, I think that's one thing I'm really excited for. I think the Raptors. This might be a bold take, but I think that if the season goes well, I think that they could have a chance for Eastern Conference Finals.
Definitely a bold take.
It's definitely a bold take for sure. I think next year much better chance. Year much better chance. I think this year is a learning to know each other year. Everyone needs to get older and everyone needs to learn and grow. But at the same time, like I have faith in these guys. I think that just the fact that they can out hustle teams by how much depth they have is really what's going to win them games, man. Like I think that you're going to put a guy like Justin Champagnie out there in the fourth quarter of a game, and he's somebody who's maybe going to hit a couple shots. And
I love Champagnie.
Exactly. And you're still going to have some of these teams who are still playing their starters and they're just gassed. And I think that the Raptors can be one of those teams that just straight up out hustle people. I'm not saying they're going to make the Eastern Conference Finals. I'm just saying that there is a slim chance, even if it's like 10-15%. I'm just saying flukes happen and things happen, and I think that if there is a team to do that, it would be the Raptors.
I don't think their offense works in the playoffs.
I mean,
at all. I think because every team is also going as hard as like.
It's true.
That's why they might.
When it gets to the nitty gritty, our half court offense,
it's not good.
It's
not good at all.
It's really
but like I'm saying, I think the thing is why I think next year is a much better answer for that question for the Eastern Conference Finals is because you're going to see I think a lot of offensive development over this year that's going to transition into next year, and this year will be we're learning to play with each other. We're going to fucking clamp on defense, and we're gonna just try to work on. And then I think over the next year and into next season, you'll see the offense improve.
Some trades will be made probably.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm not set on that. I just think that it's like, even if it's a minuscule possibility, they're like, it's not like saying like a super shitty team would make the Eastern Conference Finals.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
There's merit for that claim, right? Even if it's like almost impossible, right?
Yep.
So and I think the Raptors are the most underrated team in the NBA.
They always are.
I think they're like that's not a super hot take, but the Raptors are straight up the most underrated team in the NBA, and it pisses me off how they just never get the attention they deserve. So those are my expectations for the season and things I think about the Raptors to end it off. But Elias, here you go.
A lot of the mix what you guys said. I think the Raptors' ceiling is 6th seed. I think they can get there. I think they can avoid the play-in. If they get to the play-in, I think they will out hustle. And I think they'll get into the playoffs. Mm-hmm. When they get to the playoffs, I think it's pretty ugly.
Okay.
Especially against the Nets.
I'm willing to.
They'll play the Nets, the Bucks, and I'm not gonna lie, we'll get destroyed. But that's okay. You know, we're a young team where we got a lot of guys that we need to develop. I love everybody on the team, man. I love.
Yeah, me too.
I
love them, dude. I love every single person on that team.
Champagnie, I love.
Yeah.
Makai, Luke, Flynn, Watanabe, like all these like guys that aren't the main guys. Mm-hmm. I think it's like last year we had a lot of guys ours is really mad about. I didn't like Aaron Baines.
I did not.
Bembry's there.
I didn't
Rodney
mention
Hood was weird. Stanley Johnson
Matt
didn't
Thomas.
like. Matt Thomas.
I didn't mention this, but one of my favorite off-season moves was them getting rid of Aaron Baines. I was like, get the fuck out of here, dude.
Like no.
Terrence Davis.
Terrence Davis.
Oh,
Yeah.
fuck Terrence Davis.
Yeah, dude.
Put that in
you
there.
know about Terrence Davis?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. Fuck
I'm pretty
Terrence-
sure
yeah,
if you're a
fuck Terrence
Raptors fan,
Davis.
you know
Yeah.
about Terrence Davis, and
then
you know we just don't play that shit.
Jalen
so.
Harris. Remember him?
Yeah.
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 I don't know what he did, but he
He's in Italy now.
yeah.
I think, yeah.
He broke the drug thing. I don't know what drug he did, but 59th pick, we gave him some run at the end of the season. Then he did
looked
that.
decent.
It's like, yeah, he looked. I was kind of excited. And then
He can come back next year though. Still
Honestly-
his rights.
probably better though because he wouldn't have gotten like Champagne or someone.
Yeah.
No, I just love the team this year. I think it's gonna be really fun to watch this team.
Oh,
for
yeah,
sure.
So fun.
There's a lot of excitement, man.
Yeah, man.
Last year there's no excitement, you know. When we were in Tampa too. Now we got the fans back.
I just couldn't watch games sometimes last year. I really couldn't.
It was a tough watch.
It was
a tough watch.
It was.
Yeah.
It was every game was just kind of bleh. You know what I mean?
It was.
This year we have more of a structure. This year we have a goal. Last year it was just that's just dust in the wind. That last year, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
This year I think they can really start to build something.
Totally.
I think Precious gonna have a huge year. OG's gonna have a really, really big year. I think he can get 20
It's
points.
his
a
breakout
game.
year. OG's breakout year.
Official break.
For sure.
Last year he was really good. This year I think he's gonna get to 20 points a game.
Yep.
Pascal I think will have a bounce back year.
Mm-hmm.
And I also agree one of the best defenses in the league. I think their offense will be better than bottom three. Is that what you said?
I said bottom 10.
One of the
Okay,
things,
bottom 10.
one of the things that I think so too with what you're saying is that I think that a lot of teams, I think the Raptors and what they're doing right now are changing the way basketball is played too, because
We were talking this earlier. Almost everybody is 6'7" through 6'9". I think it's really cool.
Yeah, and there's never really been a team like that before that has no true center and who, you have guys on the floor who can guard almost any position, and it's. I think that teams are going to be surprised by how much they have to change their approach to the game when they play the Raptors. So
We're gonna
that's
be a
what
big
I'm.
adjustment team.
Like, dude,
Every
one thing you see in the preseason all the time is the amount of steals. You're just watching the ball. Like teams
transit-
will get momentum and then they'll just stop because
we
they'll
were
be like,
top in the league in transition points.
yeah,
Yeah.
30. What did they get? We had 32 points off of transition off of steals. 32 points off of steals versus who was it? Who were we playing?
I think it was the Philly
Washington?
game.
Oh, was it
the
the
first
Philly
Philly game?
Yeah,
Yeah.
something like that.
First
32
Philly?
points off of steals. That's ridiculous.
And that's going to be a normal thing, I think.
Oh God, I think so too.
Our
Even
defense
could be
our
even
defense
better.
is
Could be
pretty
even
insane,
better.
man. Our defense is insane.
Yeah.
Everybody on our team.
The
that's
deflection and stats are going to be crazy.
Yeah.
Like we're such a hustle team, right?
Yeah.
And then Nick Nurse, he's a defensive coach, right?
Yeah.
So I won't say just defensive. Nick Nurse is really good at a lot of things, but no, I really like what's coming this year. We're not gonna go far in the playoffs, I don't think. First round exit. I think we'll get the first round though, and I think it'll be an exciting season.
Okay. All right. Wow.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys, for the podcast. Awesome. So, first podcast. This will hopefully be out. I'm gonna get this posted as soon as we're done. So,
Yeah.
Hopefully you guys can stick around for a
We'll
bit,
stick-
please.
we'll-
Yeah.
yeah.
And so I'll get this posted like literally as soon as we're done. Want to say thank you to anybody who's been listening to the whole way through. I'm
Thank you
so
so
excited
much.
to be starting this podcast.
It's wicked.
And Sam and Elias will be on my other podcast too, the Reddit Asks Us podcast. And I think we're going to have a lot of fun this year. I think like this group of guys is going to be a really great, I'm going to look forward to
There's a lot to
Wednesdays.
talk about this year.
Lot to talk about. I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to Wednesday nights. So, thank you guys for tuning into the podcast. Remember, if you're watching on YouTube, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever else you get your podcasts, make sure to leave a rating and a review. You can find us on Instagram, Twitter. Hopefully, we'll get on TikTok as well at the Rapchat podcast or at Rapchat podcast.
Yeah.
So thank you guys for tuning in. This is the Rapchat podcast. See you guys later.
Peace.